has gone fully nocturnal. I sleep during the morning and sometimes part of the evening. That kind of varies, but I mainly wake up more at like the nighttime. So I woke up at just shy of 10 today, rushed to get some things done to be here. So I know nothing about Bad Blood. The only thing I know is that The Rock did make an appearance, but even that, I do not know the context of that appearance. So, given that, I feel like we could really just focus on this show, kind of gloss over Raw and SmackDown, which, from what I saw, SmackDown seemed okay. Raw also seemed like pretty decent, but obviously these were go home shows. The only thing I'd like to go more in depth on really would be NXT because it was the CW premiere. So let us begin with Bad Blood. And first of all, Ashton, before we get into any particularities, just kind of a general overview. How did you feel about the show when you were watching it? Did it help watching it with a group? Were there any matches that stood out to you in a good way and a negative way? Just give me your overall thoughts.
Honestly, I think in full truth, I think that watching it with a group generally would have made it better, but I really did not enjoy the show personally, just me. Um, I enjoyed the time that I spent with the group. I enjoyed, quality time with friends is always good, but the show itself did not inspire me at all. Really, if anything, I'll kind of feel bad because I probably brought the mood down in the group. I probably I was the turd in the punch bowl because I was just really unhappy with a lot of the stuff that they were doing on the show, and I kind of let my voice be heard in the group. And if anyone in the group was enjoying the show and I ruined it for you, I am very sorry because I did not like the show today at all.
Very, very interesting. Okay, very interesting. I like that because again, I'm going in ignorant on this.
Yeah,
So because of that, I kind of have an untainted perspective,
yeah.
even though I myself haven't seen it. So there's also deficiencies on my own end. So let's go through this then. I'm gonna pull the show up. Well, by the show, I mean our stream because I'm just still getting that set up. So if anybody in chat wants to participate, I'll also be mindful of their comments about how they thought of certain segments. So let's go here. We're gonna start with okay. They do the cold open video package. We open with Punk Drew and Hell in a Cell.
I thought you knew that. That was announced like that was like reported a few days ago.
Oh, bro, I did not know that at all. Bro, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought that was main eventing.
No,
Um,
no, the Bloodline tag match main evented.
Oh man, Temu Bloodline anyway. I mean, I'm happy for Jacob, but man, all the more reason to me why Rhea Liv should have gotten Hell in a Cell, and I would have liked to have seen that main event. But I digress. So what did you think of this match, man? Because I'm just kind of reading it now.
See, and to me, this was the biggest disconnect because I have seen this match getting match of the year talks. The Drew Punk match is getting so much praise from online and from the talking heads that you'll see everywhere on Twitter, on social media in general. Everyone absolutely loved this match, and I don't want to throw shade at it. I didn't think that it was like a disaster by any means. It told a good story. You just know that I am not a big fan of the ultra violent matches, and that is what this was. Both guys bled. Drew gigged twice during this match,
He
and
did what
it
twice? Can you just elaborate on that? Because I
bladed.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, continue.
And there, this felt like an AEW match to me. I just wasn't a fan. It wasn't for me. It felt like don't get me wrong. This is the one thing I will say. The one thing I will say is it's about damn time these guys made a match feel as personal as their promos have felt. That is a huge positive for me. I just am not a big fan of like the ultra violent, bloody bullshit. I'm not a fan of it. It's just not for me. So this is the match where it was like the biggest disconnect for me, but I knew it was going to be as soon as Drew started bleeding. Dude, the first time that Drew started bleeding, oh my god, I thought he pulled an Eddie. I thought he cut way too fucking deep because it was pouring out of his head. It was scary. You got to realize, my mom had to walk out of the room. She was terrified for Drew.
Shit.
It was
Holy
bad.
sh um, so a couple of things here, just press pause. For one thing, welcome everybody to the chat so far. We have Foster and Tavares, and we have your mom here. Always wonderful. Love you all. Second of all, it's so funny. that you open with that you were hearing match of the year talk because I use tjrwrestling.net just to plug the blog that I always use because they're a great resource for my recaps and everything. They gave this 5 stars. And I'm like, I highly doubt that I personally would give it that match if I was watching it with you because I think it also has the problem of I'm seeing that Punk ultimately won. And again, like I just feel with Punk at his current age and his credibility that's been dragged through the mud, it's a carcass dragged through the mud at that,
Yep.
that there's just that's a disconnect for me is like,
Yep.
how is this dude able to beat Drew in these types of environments? I
Well,
don't
and
this is the
again,
same.
that is
Yeah.
another big disconnect for me was that it really did just feel like a very back and forth even match. And I am not a big fan of you get someone in there that looks like Drew and you get someone in there that looks like Punk, and Drew should just dominate, but it didn't feel that way at all.
Can we also just talk about very quickly, because I don't want to take us too far afield, but I don't think we ever really touched on this in the course of the whole feud, like how much Drew McIntyre has changed, because this is the same guy that they used to book, like he beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes.
Yep.
This is the same guy that if you remember in the beginning of his first title reign, the one that he got at Brock's expense, that like it was a lot to even get a 2 count on him, because I feel like he had a period where he was kicking out at one a lot. And it's like, man, he goes from that to really struggling against CM Punk. Like I just that's so sad to me. Like because then it makes me think like if Punk ever gets in the ring with Gunther, I'm supposed to believe that Gunther's struggling with Punk.
Oh my God, absolutely. Get ready for it. That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, like
It's not going to happen at Crown Jewel, though. I'll talk more
no,
about that later.
no, I just yeah, I don't know. I don't know because I even feel like on the mic, as Punk had some good promos in this. Sure, like I'll even give him credit the promo where he kind of modified his voice to make it seem like he was selling the beads being shoved down his throat. That was good stuff, but I don't see. Well, see, I could say I don't see what money Punk's bringing in, but I know his merch is still selling like hotcakes last I heard. So I guess I don't know anything. I just feel like Punk. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe it when he's in the ring and winning these fucking matches. This is not 2011 Punk or 2012 Punk. This isn't even early AEW Punk when things were good. For him before everything went to shit there. This is just it's tired to me. So yeah, seemed like a really bloody match from what I'm reading. And yeah, they both, I guess, really sold it. So after that, we get Nia Jax versus Bailey. Okay, so while I'm scouring down for the results, what did you think about this match?
Well, I didn't want to move on yet. I was not done talking about
Oh,
Drew Punk
well,
yet, because
fair enough.
I
Keep going.
again, like something that you should know, that was significant to the match. A few things actually. So first of all, the actual finish of the match, Drew introduced a bag that looked like it had thumbtacks in it to the match, and he poured it over Punk, and it wasn't thumbtacks. It was those little square beads like what were on the bracelet.
Oh, okay.
And so you would think like, oh shit, someone's gonna get like power bombed or something on this, but no. What ended up actually happening? And by the way, I should note that this spot where Drew went for the bag and introduced it to the match came after Drew was begging Punk off. That's right, 6'6", 270-pound Drew McIntyre was on his knees begging Punk off, and then hit a low blow on Punk.
That doesn't seem like I understand that spot. We've seen that spot for years, but that doesn't seem a conducive spot for those specific characters in this type of match. No,
I think that's
that would
just
have
their
thrown the
way of
psychology off for
doubling
me.
down on like, yeah, guys, Drew's the heel here.
Yeah.
But then Drew introduces this bag with all these little beads in it, pours it over Punk's head. Punk, I forget how he got the upper hand, but he ended up getting the upper hand somehow. Oh, I remember now. Horrifying spot. Drew wanted to end it with a claymore. He goes for the claymore. Punk gets out of the way, and Drew lands back first on the corner of the steel steps. It was horrifying.
Jesus Christ.
And when I say back first, I don't mean like nice, clean middle of the back, like flat. No, like tailbone into the corner of the steps. Terrifying looking.
Jesus Christ.
And then Punk gets a handful of these beads, shoves them in Drew's mouth. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm actually getting ahead of myself again, because while Drew is reeling from having that terrible spot done, Punk wraps a steel chain, like John Cena chain gang style chain, around his left knee. And then he gets a handful of the beads, puts them in Drew's mouth, GTS over the chained up knee, 3 count. That was the match finish.
Damn.
So again,
Oh,
like, props to the performers and to the agents for actually booking this match like it was two guys who wanted to fucking kill each other, because that's legitimately what this felt like for real. Like, they did
yes.
a great job of actually getting that message across for the first time in 3 matches. Like, third time's the charm on that front. Finally, great job, right?
Yeah.
And then after the match, interestingly enough, Drew was like obviously sad in the ring. Punk, as he was walking away though, stumbled and collapsed. And they brought out like a team of medics, and they were like giving him oxygen and shit. So I don't
Oh,
know if that
shit.
was legit or a work either. It seemed like it was kind of a work, but I don't actually know for sure.
I would say we're only because in their promos, especially Punk's promo, he said more or less like he's willing to die for this. Like he's willing to
Right.
just give everything to beat Drew. So it's really selling the brutality of the Hell in a Cell. Now the funny thing is, like, I was a fan of like violent Hell in a Cell matches back in the day. I was a bit miffed when they moved away from blood. This is when I was younger. Then I got older, and then I'm like, no, it's not about the blood. It's about what kind of story are you telling? Like, I feel like Edge Taker, I don't really think had much blood because that was more in the PG era, and that was a really great Hell in a Cell match. So I just have to wonder for fans if like this match did a lot to restore the excitement and the prestige of the concept,
Yeah.
or if we're still kind of in that same place. Because it seems like it did, especially for fans that know what Hell in a Cell used to be. This seemed like a throwback to that time. Um, and so, yeah, I guess for those fans, I'm happy for them. I just don't know how I would have felt watching the match, especially again. I think the big stickler for me, just in conversation and just putting myself there with you guys on Discord, would just be that Punk won, because like I just do not believe this guy winning a match, certainly not against a guy with the physical attributes of Drew McIntyre. That's laughable to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's my only big thing. So I mean, you figure it's October already. In 3 months, dude, we're gonna be doing Royal Rumble. I have to imagine one of these guys in this match is
Four
gonna win
months.
it.
4 months, brother. 4 months. Rumbles in February.
Oh, interesting, interesting. I know that Mania is later in April, so I guess that does make sense. So, okay, let me revise. 4 months, Rumble. I have to imagine Punk just put himself in the driver's seat with winning this feud in this fashion.
Yeah,
Because
I wouldn't be surprised if Punk was actually challenging Gunther for the world title at the Rumble pay per view rather than participating in the Rumble match. It wouldn't surprise me, but if that doesn't happen, he's got to be an odds on favorite to win the Rumble match.
yeah, first of all, I agree. Second of all, I do hope he just gets the world title match instead and Gunther just obviously wins. Because you know how I feel about the Rumble. I really wish it would go to younger, more impressive guys. Again, I would pop huge if it went to a guy like Obafemi over an established guy like CM Punk. Like I don't know. Um so yeah, that's that. Is there anything else you want to say about Punk or the matchup before we move on?
Um, I think that's it for that match. So we can move on to Nia Bailey, which, in my opinion at least, was the match that reminded everybody that Nia hasn't actually gotten any better. She still sucks. She's still dangerous, and she's still reckless.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this match was horrible. There were so many botches, and they were all because of Nia. Nia landed on Bailey's leg at one point. I was scared she was injured. She threw Bailey off of her at one point to kick out, and she landed on Ref Jess. Like, it was a terrible match. It was legitimately the worst Bailey match I think I've ever seen, probably. And I've seen Bailey matches against Charlotte. Like, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, and let's never forget that not to shit on her unnecessarily, but we were shocked when she pulled out a pretty fun match with Tamina because we always
Yeah.
thought Tamina was very limited in the
Oh my
ring.
God, yeah. Bailey Tamina blew this match out of the water. This match was embarrassing, honestly. And I love Bailey. I'm looking forward to her bounce back because she needs something. She needs to bounce back from this shit. This was awful.
Bro, the way things are going with Bailey, like I think you know that I'm not a Bailey hater. I have said multiple
Right.
times she is my favorite horsewoman,
Yeah.
but like the way it's been going for her lately, she even needed to bounce back from her title reign. Like, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
no,
It's
you're right. You're right though. You are right.
yeah, like I just think she's missing something. And I don't want her to turn heel again. I was excited for babyface Bailey again, but it's like whether you're a babyface or a heel, you need stories. And like, I just don't know the last compelling story that Bailey has really had that was separate from Io and the gang. I was kind of hoping Bailey at one point would go to Raw and they'd be reunited. One, to get a Bailey EO rematch and maybe some kind of reconciliation for a babyface version of it, but it's still too soon, I guess. But yeah, sorry to see. And really, again, and this is just me with my personal bias and my subjectivity, it really, really sucks how over Tiffany is getting with this whole teasing the cash in and people
She
really
teased
wanting
it
Tiffany to
again
try.
tonight. There was a spot where, um, God, I forget what exactly happened, but oh God, what did happen? Something happened where, oh, there was a ref bump. That's right. So there was this awkward moment where Nia threw Bailey out of a pin, and I thought that it looked like it could have injured either of Bailey or Ref Jess, but they were both fine. But then Nia ended up, I think Bailey did something to Nia. I don't remember exactly how, but Nia literally fell on Ref Jess. It was intentional. It was meant to be an actual spot in the match. It wasn't Nia being reckless again, but Nia literally just fell on top of Ref Jess. Obviously, in kayfabe, referees are extremely fragile. So Ref Jess this was basically considered to be a ref bump, right?
Yeah.
So Ref Jess was down for a while, and while Ref Jess was down, Nia was also down, and Bailey hit a rose plant. And the rose plant is apparently the deadliest move in the history of WWE because Bailey hits that rose plant and Nia is down for the fucking count. Ref Jess is not there to make the count. The crowd counted to like 10 and then gave up while Bailey was pinning Nia. And then Tiffy came out. Tiffy runs out with the briefcase, clobbers Bailey, incapacitates Bailey, and then tries to wake Jess up. But as she's trying to wake Jess up, Nia does the fucking Undertaker Kane sit up from a laying position and just looks at Tiffany like, you got some splaining to do. And Tiffany's just like, hey, Nia. And then she gets out of the ring. And Tiffany actually ended up being the one that cost Bailey the match. Bailey was up on the top rope. It looked like she was probably going to go for an elbow drop. Tiffany threw her briefcase at Bailey. Bailey caught it and then threw it aside. But that distraction was enough for Nia to go up, grab Bailey, and knock her down off the top rope and then hit the Annihilator to win.
Yeah, I just again, Nia's champion. I'm really starting to wonder if a Tiffany babyface turn is going to do it for her, or God forbid, Charlotte like beating her for it or something, because we're running out of believable people. I would love, I'll tell you what I would love in an ideal world, Meechin to get another crack at it and
Yeah,
actually win this time,
yeah,
because I thought their street fight was quite good.
yeah.
And Meechin's been putting in the work. I mean, I saw that her and Chelsea, their dumpster match on Friday, got high praise, particularly Chelsea's performance. So again, this is the first time I'd really want women's mid card titles, so we could give Chelsea something for all of her hard work. She's been tremendous. But yeah, this is the state of the division. Naya's just champion, and it just sucks. All right, all right. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. How do we feel about this?
Uh, Low key, this was a decent match. There was some interference from the Judgment Day. Um, you know, JD took a crazy fucking bump in this where he just got thrown over the top rope, feet overhead. Like he literally, like there was a point while JD was getting thrown over the top rope where you could probably have done like a screenshot and it looked like he was doing a handstand on the top rope, and landed feet first, then on the outside. It looked rough. Um, and yeah, Priest just won with South of Heaven. I mean, dude, there was a point in this match where Finn hit Priest with coup de grace, and Priest kicked out of it, and then Balor got upset and he started basically spamming coup de grace. He hit one to the back of Priest's head and then to the back of Priest, like the upper back area, and then went up to the top rope for a third one, and Priest doozled him and hit him with South of Heaven and won.
Yeah, see, you know what that tells me, man? Priest, I think, is getting ready for his rematch with Gunther soon. Like
Maybe that's very
now that
possible.
he's
Yeah.
yeah, now that he's taking care of Finn, like in his mind, well, his next order of business would obviously be getting a rematch because Finn kind of screwed him over there. Putting Gunther's foot on the rope at one point in that SummerSlam match and everything else. So. Yeah, Ajvars is also excitedly telling me that this was the match that Sparking Zero sponsored, which I think is really cool for WWE
That
and
is
really cool
true.
for
Yeah,
Gunther.
that is the case. Yep.
Bro, this is fucking nuts to me. All right, but yeah, I just think hearing all of that to make Priest that OP, I think they want to build him back up again. For one thing, because he's a hot baby face right now, and
Yeah.
secondly, because you have to imagine they're going to be writing that rematch with Gunther soon, and they want to really make him seem ready, like even more ready possibly than SummerSlam. And yeah, honestly, I think him and Gunther could cook. I think Priest is kind of underrated in the ring, and I'd be excited for that rematch. Of course, we know what Gunther has coming down the road, but we'll get into that a bit later when we briefly kind of canvas over Raw after discussing these results. So yeah, good for Priest. Definitely seems like again that rematch is coming. Uh and oh, well, wait a minute here. Okay, so I'm reading from this recap. Triple H is talking about Crown Jewel
Yes.
and Gunther. While we're talking about him,
Well,
um,
before we move on to Gunther, you should know Triple H, talking about Crown Jewel, introduced a new championship.
oh, for women or for the men?
Well, he kind of implied that it would be for the women, but he only actually showed one title, and it's fucking gigantic. So I'm assuming that the one title that he showed was the one for the men. Or maybe it'll just be a title that they don't even actually carry. It's just kind of a title that just sits there and exists. But the
Interesting.
idea is that at Crown Jewel, the WWE champion will face the World Heavyweight champion, not for those titles, but for that title.
Interesting.
The WWE. So let's assume that nothing changes between now and then. Gunther will face Cody Rhodes, and neither of the titles they currently hold will be on the line. It'll be to crown the first ever Crown Jewel champion.
Okay, I just have to give my knee-jerk reaction that is utterly ridiculous.
Exactly. I
That
think
is,
it has
yeah,
to be a demand from the Saudis, dude. It has to be because there's no way WWE would come up with this ridiculousness on their own.
um, I can forgive it if it's held exclusively to Crown Jewel shows, which it seems like it will.
Yeah.
But that is some AEW shit where you have too many championships. Because right now, I'll actually commend WWE, where I feel like they're balancing their championships pretty well. And you already know that I side eye Speed, which for the record, Io and Candice are going to be challenging or wrestling each other for the Women's Speed Championship.
Oh yeah, I actually got
Uh,
spoiled by that,
oh,
or
interesting. I guess we
spoiled
won't.
on that, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we won't talk about it here, but if you want to message me on Facebook who won, that'd be cool. So like I don't like it for that reason because like I don't want an oversaturation of championships. But again, if they keep it to these shows, I guess it's fine. My other problem as a fan, again, Cody's already gotten one up on Gunther twice because of Rumble eliminations. He's eliminated Gunther in back-to-back Rumbles.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Gunther give any more to Cody Rhodes. Fuck Cody Rhodes. Like I get more and more anti Cody Rhodes each and every fucking day. So
Hmm.
like, no, we're not doing this. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Thirdly, I was wrong. I'm glad you reined me in before I really went on like my diatribe, my opinion, because I was going to set the scene and I was going to say that Gunther noticed that Goldberg was at ringside,
Yep.
and I was wondering if they were going to tease Gunther versus Goldberg at Crown Jewel because that seems like a quintessentially Crown Jewel matchup.
Yeah.
Um, can you give me any more context in that interaction? I know he was like talking to his son,
So the
Gage.
good news is that they did manage to pivot from the trash talk from Gunther to Goldberg, but then Sami Zayn came out and attacked Gunther, and we got a cool little pull apart brawl there. So they did pivot, and then while Gunther and Sammy were fighting in the back, or not in the back, but like up the ramp, Goldberg got in the ring, posed for the crowd, and then went back to his seat, and that was it.
I mean, sounds like a typical Goldberg thing to do, given that he's a fucking mark.
Yes,
Um, so yeah,
correct.
let's see here. Okay, yeah, I'm also catching up on the Discord while we're talking about this. Uh, Jesus. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So beyond all that, we're gonna have to talk later, you and I, because I'm seeing some things on the Discord. But yeah. So Goldberg, do you think him and Gunther are gonna lock up at any point, or do you think it was just like just
I
a
sure
cool
as
thing?
fuck hope not. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I think you and I have the same hope, friend. Fuck him. Yeah. As far as I did also want to talk quickly because you mentioned Sami Zayn rolling. That title match is taking place on Raw. I'm guessing Raw even this Monday. I
Yeah,
could be wrong
yeah.
about that though.
Sammy versus Gunther is, yep. It is Monday. That is correct.
Talk about that just very quickly because I was thinking about this when I was getting ready for the show. I've seen some fans be torn about it because I read the report that they said that Bad Blood didn't need the matchup, and apparently that was true. On the financial side, Bad Blood did very well in terms of ticket sales and everything else.
Yeah.
Um, what I like about this too is that, smaller pay-per-view cards are kind of vying for that pay-per-view spot, so it makes it seem more prestigious when you get on a card. And two, if you're doing smaller pay-per-view cards and they're doing well without certain matches, well, then you can fatten up your TV at the same time, which, given that Raw is going to be going to Netflix, I would expect a lot more, like not like a lot more, not like a Lucha Underground thing, but I would expect at least more relative to the old days, world title and just big matches on TV that you would think would take place on pay-per-view. I think they want to make Netflix Raw seem prestigious like in its own right because it's fucking Netflix. So I think that this could be the beginning of like a new trend where maybe every couple months you get a world title match on a Raw or a high profile like feud ending match on a Raw or IC title match since that's kind of been rehabilitated. I just think Netflix is like, we're going to want more of that too. We're going to want you guys to give matches that could be on pay per view on Raw as well, especially since we're platforming it. So I actually don't mind this. I think it really is a good sign of how strong WWE is right now, where you can actually say, nah, we don't need this for the pay per view. Let's just put it on TV and fatten up your TV as well. Because I remember as a kid, I used to love when world title matches were happening on TV, like Brock Kurt in an Iron Man match, Kane Triple H for Kane's mask on the line. I mean, that was some quality shit when I was a kid. So I'm happy for people that, maybe don't have access to pay-per-view, even though it seems more accessible than ever with streaming. And they're just like, oh, cool, I don't need it because I can watch Gunther and Sammy tomorrow night. Yay. So I think that's cool. All right. With that said, we're finally here. Women's World Championship. Before I even look into this, what did you think about this match? This again being Liv
Um.
versus Rhea, just to be clear.
Yeah. 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 I wanted this to be good, and I feel like these two have had some pretty good matches, and they're both talented workers. But the stipulation really became the focal point of the match, and I think that that really fucked it up for me.
I think we knew that it would. And that's why I think you and I were very against. I don't even want to say sus. We were just straight up against the stip. I have been saying from the beginning, this should have been the Hell in a Cell match to me. Both this and Punk and
Yep.
Drew. I feel like you could have had two, one for the men, one for the women. And hey, if people felt weird because they were both Raw matches, well then SmackDown maybe would get them next year. I don't know, but like any reason you could have come up with, I don't think would have been a good enough reason to not do it, right? So I even saw, I think, from Mark that he said, don't want to misquote anybody or misattribute to anybody. Was it Mark that said this? Yeah, it was Mark that said, enjoyed the main events. Rhea and Liv was enjoyable until the finish. So what was the finish of this matchup that seemed to put a bad taste in some people's mouths?
Well, here's the part of it that I hated personally. Just to get ahead of it, Raquel actually did show up, and she did help Liv retain. I'll just put that. And really, when I say she helped Liv retain, Liv didn't even necessarily pin Rhea. She won by DQ, which I think is just again goofy as fuck. You have a stip. It's a shark cage match. Why are there DQs at all? You know.
Yes.
But yeah, because Raquel attacked Rhea, Liv retained by DQ. So really, I guess technically Rhea won the match by DQ, but now she's going to be preoccupied trying to fend off Raquel. So ridiculous to me. But the reason that I personally hated the end of the match is because Rhea chose to go out of her way to prioritize trying to hurt Dom over trying to get her title back. Basically, what happened was Dom found a way to open the door to the shark cage. They made a joke about it on commentary. Oh, he picked the lock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Rhea and Liv were fighting kind of like under him ish because he was not hovering above the ring. He was like ramp area above the ramp kind of thing. He was
Yeah.
like maybe 15 feet or so above the ramp. Maybe I'm overestimating that. I don't know. But he unlocks the door, opens the door, and he is just kind of like tucked into this thing. And another thing too is that they really didn't play up the whole Dom is, has a fear of being in a cage thing. They didn't play that up at all. He like they mentioned it on commentary, and especially like of course Corey Graves meant trying to play the sympathy card, being like you don't have the type of trauma associated with this that Dominic Mysterio has. But like the whole time, Dom was just kind of in the cage chilling. He didn't really act at all at any point other than being concerned for Liv and trying to help Liv. He didn't act traumatized. He didn't act like he was claustrophobic or anything like that. There was no acting coming from Dominic whatsoever.
Right.
So he gets the cage door open, and then the match goes out of the ring, up the ramp. They get close to Dom, and then as they're going back towards the ring, Dom kind of does this thing where he almost like reaches out to try and help Liv because Rhea's in control, and he falls out of the fucking cage. But I guess they did something where they gave him some kind of like boot to keep him chained to the cage. And it was because he fell out, he was literally dangling from the cage upside down, where his boot was attached to a chain, which was attached to the cage. So he's attached, but he's out of the cage, dangling from the cage. Think literally like a pinata upside down, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
apparently, Rhea Ripley just cannot pass up this opportunity to take a Singapore cane to her piece of shit ex boyfriend. So she takes the Singapore cane, and she's got the match well at hand. She hit a fucking riptide on Liv on the outside of the ring, got her back in the ring, and then was like, you know what? I'm gonna have some fun. I want some me time. Grabs the Singapore cane and goes over and starts whacking Dom with the cane, and that's when Raquel showed up and attacked Rhea, got her, got Liv disqualified, and that's how the match. And really, the funniest thing is Raquel, even after the bell rang, Raquel hits the fucking whatever the hell bomb, the one arm power bomb thing that she
Yeah. The
does,
Chigona bomb, I think.
Chingona bomb, yeah. She hits that, and then the bell had already rung at this point, but Raquel still decides to go over and grab Liv and drag her over and put her on top of Rhea like she's gonna get a 3 count. Like, dude, this was like an embarrassingly bad show to me. Other than the main event, the main event was good, but even then, like Cody's embarrassing to me.
Yeah, Cody's embarrassing to everyone.
No, unfortunately, no, he's not.
Yeah, I'm just old and bitter. Um,
That makes two of us, pal.
but let's take a breath here about this because looking at chat, apparently the women are going to be doing the whole crown jewel thing too, which means
Yes,
then if that's true, let's unpack these
Liv
games here.
versus Naya.
How the fuck it's heel versus heel? How the hell are you going to do that? Like I don't know. I don't
I
know.
mean,
And especially
as far as I'm
especially
concerned, the men is heel versus heel too, because fuck Cody. But
I
I
mean,
know
true.
he's not actually.
True. No, you're absolutely right about that. But the problem is too is like I like Liv as a heel. I think she's been doing great work, but I don't know if either of them are compelling in the way that they would need to be to pull this off. I don't know. I hate it. I hate everything. So yeah, great. Great. Raquel's back. We'll see how long she even stays on TV because I know she's had those fucking like autoimmune issues and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe she got those under control because I can't imagine they would just bring her back after being gone all this time, unless like she knew something that we didn't. Maybe. So
Maybe.
we'll see. But yeah, I do think. Here's the thing. I don't even mind the introduction of Raquel in this story. I think it's smart when you use pieces of like forgotten history in a forceful way like this. But just the way you described it sounded like such a clown show. Like, did Vince Russo
Oh, it
fucking write
was.
this shit? What the fuck?
Yes.
Oh my god. All right, main event time. Cody and Tribal Daddy Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, and the only person that matters on that side of the team, Jacob Fatu. So I'm actually going to begin with an unusual question. Well, not unusual, but a different question. How did Jacob look in this match?
Fantastic, as you'd expect. He
Thank
looked like
God.
a king. He looked like a boss. He looked like a beast. Yeah, he was. I will say something I fucking hated about this match was that they made it seem like Jacob and Roman were very toe to toe, but like Cody kind of got the better of Jacob, and I hated it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it was gross. Like there was a whole sequence where Cody was like kind of punking Jacob out a little bit, and it was really, really, really disgusting to me.
I hate Cody so fucking much.
I know,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
He's the fucking worst. I'm telling you.
Like, okay, so
By the way, did you see anything about the entrances for this match?
no, no, I think I read a little bit about it, but how indulgent was Cody's entrance? Because I can only imagine that's where this is going.
Yeah, yeah. So Solo and Jacob do their normal ass, regular ass, everyday entrances they would do on SmackDown. Maybe they take a little bit longer to do it, but if they did, it wasn't noticeable. And then as we cut from the ring to a wide angle shot, you see that the ring has been surrounded by a fucking marching band.
What? Oh my God.
A whole ass marching band. And they start playing Cody's theme song.
The only good thing about it was the self pop that you just had right there. That's it. Like,
And of course, because Cody just has to maintain optics, it's an HBCU marching band. It's Arkansas Pine Bluff, right? And
right.
the weird thing is, it's not even a local HBCU. Arkansas Pine Bluff? Really?
Yeah.
You're talking about a school that's from like a few states over? You couldn't get one that's actually from Georgia? Or even in Atlanta? There aren't any good HBCU colleges that are in the area that you could get a good marching band from, Cody? Really? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, he got the Arkansas Pine Bluff Marching Band to play him to the ring. Of course, they played his theme, but then, of course, when they got done with their part of his theme, his actual theme played over the loudspeaker, and he had to come out and do his whole entrance. But then it got funnier because once the college, band cleared out, a whole ass orchestra lined the ramp.
My God.
And they played Roman to the ring.
Oh, okay. Well, how did they sound at least? Because Roman's theme is epic. Did they at least do a good
They
job?
spot on exactly the same as his theme song. They literally just played his theme song perfectly.
Yeah.
And like he got a bunch of pyro too, which Cody didn't even get.
Good. Good. No, that makes me
Dude, it
happy.
was
I was getting
so
rid of.
funny because it was in the call with Javaris and Dom and Curtis, and we were all just rolling our eyes, and I shouldn't say we were all, really it was mostly Javaris and I that were rolling our eyes at how indulgent Cody was. But then when they caught the camera to the ramp and we saw all of these fucking cellos and like all of these string instruments, and I was like, holy shit. And and then Cody or Roman started coming out, and then the pyro hit and it popped both of us because Cody is just so well known for the overly self-indulgent pyro. It was so fucking funny.
I mean, I'm glad Roman
Oh.
big leagued him because I mean, again, going back to like Jacob, you have Roman. Now, granted, I know Roman's probably got a vested interest because it is literally his bloodline, but he's selling Jacob Fatu like, yeah, this dude's a monster. He can go 1v1 with me after I took literally everybody else out. And Cody's like, no, I'm the champion. I'm stronger than everybody. Fuck selling. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. God, for somebody that claims to love the business so much, certainly don't know a fucking thing about it. God,
Yeah.
I hate him so much, dude. Like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
I
no, same
yeah.
dude. I literally like I literally posted I hate Cody Rhodes in the
Like,
chat.
I don't want to be hyperbolic, and maybe I've already crossed that bridge, but just to perfectly encapsulate my feelings, like in a soundbite, I feel like when the Charlotte hate was at its apex for a lot of us, that's where I am now with Cody. Where even just the first note of his fucking music makes my
Oh, I mute
stomach
my TV
recoil.
every time. I muted my TV. Like I
Yeah,
listened to the band out of like both confusion and then once I realized what they were doing, partially also respect. But as soon as the band stopped and his actual theme song hit, muted my TV, waited for the actual, Roman stuff to start. Yeah. Hell no,
yeah.
I don't listen to that shit. And I mute my shit when he starts talking too, when he does his whole like, "Oh, what do you want to talk about?" bullshit. I hate that shit.
Dude, everything about him annoys the fuck out of me.
Yep.
Like, when I think about that rant that I did, and I remember some things I said, because to be honest, I did black out for parts of it. I'm like, how the fuck hard did I go on him? I do remember that I said, when he talks about his dad, and I'm like, the only thing your dad's doing is decomposing because he's fucking dead. And like I thought that was probably a little mean, but then like I see him, and it's like any considerations of conscience or anything else go out the window. Like, I just have such a negative, visceral response to this dude. I don't even care. Like, if we lived in a world where Rock beat him for the title, I honestly would not care. Like, I would honestly
Oh, I
probably
would
see
care.
that as
I
an
would
upgrade.
pop. I would be happy as hell.
Yeah, I guess I should mean, like, I wouldn't care in the sense of, like, I wouldn't be salty about it, which, like, I know I've been salty about, like, part-timers and just the old guard winning championships and doing stuff, but Cody's
Right.
the one exception where I'm like, "No, fucking everybody could take a turn." Fucking Hogan, if he wanted to do one thing useful, could come in and drop a leg on fucking Cody, and I'd be like, "Okay, now go in the river next. Like, you're done. Fucking you played your fucking part." Like, I fucking hate this fucking dude so goddamn much. Really him and his whole fucking family. Because fuck Dustin Rhodes too. I haven't forgotten about the overbooked shit that he's been doing in AEW, or at least was doing. Um, and yeah, I think Javaris, you're right. The way you used to hate man, I don't know. Tamantha still seems like one of your ops, my guy. But I don't know if you've chilled out recently, maybe taken a Zen seminar.
He
But
did
yeah,
tell me today while we were in the call that he wants to try and take more of an approach with Tamantha, the way that he has taken with Charlotte and Nia, where rather than being just like vehemently seething at the mere mention or thought of her name, he wants to just kind of think of her as like a non-entity and try and just ignore her shit.
well, good luck with that, Javaris. Good luck with that. We'll see if Bushiroad's booking allows you to do that. But yeah, I just think this dude is the most boring, most self-indulgent, pretentious, fucking douchebag of a champion we've seen. Like, granted, there's always been worse. I mean, Hogan's a notorious piece of shit, stuff like that. I'm not trying to say anything like that. But just for me, he is my most hated world champion of all time because I can even go back to old clips of JBL's reign, who was a notorious ratings bomb, and honestly still find enjoyment in him. Cody, oh my God. And never forget that this title reign started with what seemingly felt like a 10-minute video package to how great he is. The whole company just performing fellatio on our new WWE champion. Roman didn't need a video package. Roman didn't need pomp and circumstance because he just had that fucking aura when he was allowed to be what we all knew he could be. But give Cody all the fucking help he can get because he's fucking useless. Um, anyway, I know that they won this because Roman pinned Solo. Let's talk about the big thing, The Rock. So set the scene for me. How did this all happen and where are we going?
Well, so here's the thing. You mentioned Roman pinning Solo, but you did not mention the most important part of this match.
Is it something involving Cody?
No.
Okay, so I thought you were using your sarcastic voice. So what was the most important point of this match then?
Jimmy Uso returned.
Oh, great. Great. The twin. What did he do?
It was pretty fucking cool actually, I got to say.
Really?
It was pretty dope. Yeah, I'm not
You
going
know
to
what I thought was pretty cool? When that chair was wrapped around his trachea and then that ass made contact at full speed. But no, Jimmy Uso, I'm guessing he cost Solo this thing. Did he provide a distraction or something?
he so what happened was Roman at one point kind of got distracted by the Tongans at ringside, and then Solo hit the spear, but only got a 2 count. And then Solo started arguing with the referee and talking shit to Roman. And then randomly, you saw kind of in the background, like near like the announce table, someone in a hood, a black hoodie, chilling that wasn't like unrecognizable basically. And those of us who are in the know obviously immediately just assumed, is that Jimmy? And he super kicks one of the members of God, one of the Tongans, and obviously it's revealed, yeah, it's Jimmy Uso. And he ended up taking out both members of the Tongan brothers, I believe. And then Roman hits the spear on Sokoa for the victory after that. So then we get a big hug between Roman and Jimmy, and Roman told Cody he'd be seeing him around, and then they leave. But as they're walking up the ramp, the fucking Temu bloodline starts beating the shit out of Cody. They're ganging up on him in the middle of the ring, and Jimmy is like pleading with Roman, like, "Bro, we gotta go cover him. We gotta go get his back. You told him you would have his back." And Roman actually agrees, and they head back to the ring and they clear it. They actually go back to save the fucking Buster. They actually save Cody from Temu Bloodline. And then, and only then, when we kind of get like a show of respect between Roman. Actually, what happened specifically, the show of respect was Roman is closer in vicinity to Cody's WWE title than Cody is in the ring. So Roman bends over to pick it up, slowly hands it back over to Cody, and then the Rock's music hit. So it was sort of this sign that like Roman had sort of conceded to Cody that led to The Rock's music hitting. The Rock showed up, does the people's eyebrow, holds a one up in the air, but then doesn't stop. He holds up a two and then a three, implying, yeah, I pinned you, bitch, at WrestleMania, implying that he is ready to challenge Cody.
Okay.
Someone
You
else
have
also implied that maybe it's not even about the pin. Someone said that maybe this is strike three for Roman. I don't know. I just know The Rock showed up, did the people's eyebrow, counted to three, and then the show went off the air.
okay, so you have no idea the two wolves that are warring inside of me between being professional about this and just letting my most toxic visceral reaction that I had with you relaying all of this out. So I think I'm going to do both. My immediate
Nice.
toxic reaction is this is why Jimmy Uso is seen and not heard. You should have kept your fucking mouth shut and minded your business. I don't care for Temu Bloodline, but fuck Cody Rhodes. They should have just continued beating the shit out of him. Roman conceding to Jimmy and being like, yeah, okay, let's help. I'm worried about you, my tribal chief. What is happening to you? It's not that I don't want you to make amends with your family, but really agreeing on Cody Rhodes as a start? Don't know about that one, tribal chief. So yeah, fuck Jimmy Uso. Didn't really miss him at all. Can't wait to see him be abused again. Secondly, happy that Jacob Fatu looked amazing in this main event, but fuck Cody Rhodes for making him seem beatable and look invulnerable. Not everything is about you, Cody. I know you think that it is, and what's even worse is that you're enabled by the entire fucking company and system, but you're wrong. Third, as far as Rock Cody, um, I did kind of hear that this might happen, and I do think that this absolutely clears the path if they do it at Crown. Well, no, they can't do it at Crown Jewel because we're doing Cody Gunther. So if they do this, say maybe at Rumble or something, this would clear the path for Rock Roman at Mania. Um, and then I guess that's interesting because then who does Cody face at Mania if Rock's already got Roman? I
Yeah.
really do wonder. You know, my immediate guess, bro, to be honest with you, would be Orton. We would do Cody Orton at Mania. That's just kind of my knee jerk thing. But we would have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, we knew Rock and Cody were gonna face off eventually. I'm just surprised they're not doing it at Mania, kind of, because I know we also talked about Roman Rock being a possibility. And yeah, I don't really give a shit about anything except Roman being back on my TV and being wonderful and Jacob Fatu thriving. That's essentially it. Cody can kick rocks and just yeah, kick rocks and everything else could just, whatever. So, and apparently too, there might have been like a after show angle where KO confronted Cody by
Oh, he
Cody's tour
didn't
bus.
confront him, brother. He beat the shit out of him.
Holy fuck. So KO's just heel again.
Yes, it's real. Yeah, he there was a video we posted or I posted it in our Discord. There was some video that was online of Kevin just straight up assaulting Cody Rhodes right in front of his tour bus.
Um, God, I still want a babyface KO so bad, but like based KO, I don't know. Like it was Cody Rhodes, so what am I really gonna say? But yeah, again, KO heel again. I'm just glad that him and Sammy aren't on the same brand right now. Maybe they could do some interesting things with the KO heel turn. See, I'd be excited about this if I knew he had the chance to take the title off Cody, but he's not going to. We have a Rock match to promote, and KO sure as shit ain't going to be getting that match at WrestleMania. Hell, this year at WrestleMania, he got pinned by Logan Paul. Like, KO just isn't in that conversation right now, and he hasn't been for some time. And believe
Yeah.
me, I don't say that with any sense of joy. You know, I fucking love Kevin Owens. But yeah, it just really seems like it's going to be Rock down the road, and then I'm going to say Orton for Mania. That's my just knee jerk kind of feeling about all this. Um, and so yeah, we'll see what happens. But overall, search it, skip it, buy it. Our personal rating system. It sounds like you would give Bad Blood a skip it personally.
Hard skip for me, brother.
Yeah, hard skip, huh? Um, so yeah, all right, hard skip. I'll be curious if anybody wants to post their numerical scores from 1 to 10 about the show. I'd be curious to read them. I've got nothing more to say about this. Personally, I'm glad that my sleep schedule is what it is, so I had a perfect excuse to sleep through this show because I feel like a lot of this show probably would have annoyed me as well. So glad I missed it. Good for my fucking sanity. All right, let us very quickly go over Raw, SmackDown. I think we'll actually save NXT for last. The big story on Raw is that Seth Rollins is back. Came in at a very opportune time during last Monster Standing. They did the ring collapse spot, a lot of destruction, and they're both kind of stirring. But Rollins out of nowhere gets a stomp on Reed onto the steel steps, which gives Strowman the edge. I thought it was a pretty cool return. I did see the end of this just to see the context how Rollins returned.
Yep.
I thought it was really well done, and I think this Bronson Reed feud is a good thing for Seth to do before Seth gets healthy enough. Because I have to imagine that Seth is going to be the next big thing that Punk does, unless he just leapfrogs that and goes straight to Gunther. I don't know. What do you think about Seth's return here? Do you have any thoughts about Last Monster Standing?
Um, I thought this was a really cool match. I had a lot of fun with it. I think the it really it's funny because we criticize spot fests a lot when it feels like a match just kind of goes from one spot to another with no real logic about it. This was the good kind of spot fest to me because this match really was only it was only interesting because of the big like high spots basically where it's like you've got the crazy shit going on. It's like you jump from one crazy spot to another to another to another, but it had flow and there was logic behind the flow of the spots of the big spots, right? It wasn't just kind of like let's fucking go out there and show off how crazy we can be or how athletic we are or how strong we are or whatever the hell. There was a natural smooth progression through these big moments that they had and we even in the Discord we were calling it very early in the night once we kind of picked up on the vibes that this match was main eventing that they were going to break the ring. And honestly, to me, I think that the ring breaking spot was the worst part of the match. It felt underwhelming to me, probably because we all called it ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, So yeah, I think it's cool that Seth's back. I'm glad that they did keep him on TV for a little bit. If you care about Bronson Reed and his presentation, you know that I'm not a big fan of the dude. I think this is also great for him because I think he would have beaten the count and kept going with Strowman just for that little bit longer if Seth hadn't intervened. So this definitely protects Reed. And it gives Strowman a win too that I think he hasn't had in some time. Again, focusing on the character and getting the most mileage out of the character. Don't really care for him as a person either. But Strowman getting this win, now he can give a rub to somebody else down the road. So I think this was really just well done just from what I saw.
Yeah.
So good on those guys for that.
Yep.
Um, I thought Jay Uso and Braun Breaker's segment was very interesting. What did you think about this? Jay kind of addressing the crowd, talking about his mom, but then Braun's just like super chill about it, and he is even just like straight up congratulates Jay. What did you think about this? Because I
I
liked it.
never
I
got
was
to
waiting
see
for Braun to
this. I
scream.
never saw this.
You never saw this. Well, it was a very amicable exchange. Jay talking about what winning this title meant to him. How he used to be a twin and now he can say he's Intercontinental Champion. Again, talks about his mom and her sacrifices. Then Braun comes out and Braun, like, he sells the laws. He's more not somber but subdued. He's like, that title meant a lot to me, and I said I was gonna do a lot with it. And maybe he's just kind of like meditating, like, wow, this reign was really short. I didn't go on the tear that I thought I would. And so, yeah, he does congratulate Jay, though. He extends his hand, they shake, and then Jay gives Braun his flowers because Braun's getting ready to leave, and he says, Braun, a lot of dogs barking here tonight, like in whatever city they're in. So I do wonder if we're gonna get a rematch. I have to imagine we will. Braun just can't let this shit go. I can't imagine. But yeah, very, very cool. I think WWE knows that one day Braun as a babyface is gonna make a lot of money. And I just don't want them to rush it though. I want it to be organic. So just keep that in mind. Um, Xavier Woods versus Rey Mysterio. I thought this was interesting. Xavier accidentally ripping off the mask, but then seeing the opening and getting the roll up on Rey for the 3 count. What did we think about this?
Uh, I mean, yeah, it's interesting because it's kind of telling the story of Xavier Woods kind of turning heel without really turning heel. It's like he's doing heelish stuff, but it's not like he's being malicious about it. Like he's not being a dickhead. It's kind of like that, like passive. That is what it is. It's kind of like a passive heel turn because he's not actively being malicious, but he's also not actively making good decisions either.
Yes. Yes. Um, Look, I went on that passionate mini rant last week. I don't think they should break up New Day. I don't think black wrestling fans deserve this, that this has meant so much to them for over a decade. And really, I don't even think they would have a problem or I would have a problem if I knew that they had a concrete plan in place for Xavier. Apparently, Jay Uso said on like a Raw talk, like that after show kind of thing, that he looks forward to facing Xavier Woods. So maybe they could tease an Xavier Jay feud, but like I'm not entirely convinced he would win that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want Xavier left out in the cold when he's a very underrated player in the industry. And I don't want to blow up a faction that's meant a lot to a lot of people for nothing. Like at least have a plan. That's all I ask, and preferably a good one, but I don't want to ask too much. So yeah, good for unveiling that face. Fuck you, Oscar. You should have never gotten involved. And so Lyra versus Zoe. Apparently Zoe beat Lyra. Don't really want to dwell too much on that. This women's division, at least in the mid card, is pretty meh. Not going to talk about Drew Punk because that's a bad blood tie-in. Um, let's see here. The lesser part of the Judgment Day, Carlito, Mick Don't Google Me, and Dominic beat LWO. So, nothing really to say there. Chad Gable beat Kofi. See, this was interesting because Xavier Woods tried to trip Chad, but him and Kofi were out of sync because Kofi was going for Trouble in Paradise. So really, Xavier stopped Chad from getting hit with Trouble in Paradise, and that allowed Chad to get Rolling Chaos Theory and get the win. Really great to see
Yeah.
Chad get a singles win. I want to see him and Jay lock up for the
That
Intercontinental
I do
title.
agree with. It is cool to see Chad get a singles win, but um it was also the finish of this match was fucking cool, man. I loved the timing of the spot where Kofi is going for Trouble in Paradise right as X is trying to basically, again, this is kind of a malicious thing, trying to basically help Kofi and cheat because he grabbed Chad's foot and tripped him, but it ended up being a drawback because it actually hurt Kofi because Kofi would have fucking hit Trouble in Paradise and won the match there if Chad would have just come off the ropes like he expected. But X unintentionally cost him the match. I actually love that finish.
Yeah, I thought it was really well executed.
It's
Really
wild
well.
how Raw, like how just kind of in general WWE TV is booked so much better than their pay per views.
Yeah, dude, I know because I feel like that's been a trend for a while. I'm really glad you phrased it that way because I definitely am inclined to agree. Um, so yeah, there was another Wyatt Six VHS tape apparently. And Nikki Cross apparently is going to be targeting somebody soon. Maybe Ivy Nile. I don't know, but I feel like they're done with American Made, so we'll have to see. Um, really, I just want to hear Brutus laugh some more. So let's get American Made something to do where he could logically do that. Um, we hear about Dragonov's injury. Get well soon to him. Torn ACL.
Yeah.
Gunther Sammy, I'm gonna just skip that because we already kind of talked about that in our Bad Blood coverage. That is gonna happen on Raw Monday night. I was gonna say tomorrow, but it's Monday night. So after that, we get mid. I saw this. Oh my god, I knew it. I mean, I'm look, when you're early, you're late, right? So I'm not gonna say I called this, but like it's fucking mid. The dude is a douche. Like I knew it's like, okay, awesome Truth. How long before Truth just gets on his nerves and he turns on him again? And it happened. Fucking Karrion Cross. And see, this proves Miz weaker than Xavier confirmed because Karrion tried putting the screws to Xavier, and Xavier's like, look, if the New Day is going to be destroyed, it's going to be by me for my own reasons. Fuck you, Karrion. Aw. But then he gets in Miz, monsters come in many forms. Miz is like, I know. And then he's like, all right, well, I'll do it. And Karrion's so happy about it, like he achieved something. You're all fucking washed. Jesus Christ. He turns on Truth. He blasts him, leaves him with Truth with AOP. And then apparently, like on a Raw Talk segment, I didn't watch this, but Truth, I think, may not even understand that Miz betrayed him because Truth apparently said Miz still thinks I'm with the Judgment Day. Just to give you an idea of where this feud might be going. I don't really think there's anything exciting in Miz being heel again. Not that he was really exciting as a babyface. He's just kind of in that place in his career. I don't say this is a bad thing. He's been there forever. But he's in that thing where it's like, okay, whatever the company wants me to do, I'm doing it. I've got job security. Like, I feel like Miz is a lifer with this company.
Yeah.
Like, even when he's done in the ring, he's probably going to be like the PLE host or like correspondent or whatever. Like, he's always going to be in WWE to me.
He's an advocate. He's an advocate.
Exactly. So, like, him doing this isn't even an indictment on Miz. It just makes me chuckle because, like, Truth, did you really forget how this dude turned on you the first time? I didn't, because he skull-crushing finale you on the steel fucking ramp and then looked at you angry like. But then, admittedly, Truth, when he tagged him back, that was hilarious, too. because he was like, "Oh, beating you up is like Christmas. I want to savor opening my presents." Isn't that right, little Jimmy? You're all fucking nuts, and that's coming from me. And I'm hardly the poster boy for mental well adjustment. So yeah, do you have any thoughts about Miz being heel again and betraying truth again?
Not really. I don't really care at all. I know that I'm more just like sad for truth. I mean, maybe this will be what snaps truth out of the dementia. That would be nice.
That would be. I don't think that's happening, but it would be. So yeah, Miz betrays truth. I doubt that this is going to translate into anything for him championship wise or anything like that. But we shall see. And as far as carrying cross, that silence is pretty much it.
Oh,
So
I was supposed to
yeah,
say something there. I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
no, 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 no. It's fine. See, because your silence was also indicting of Cross and this fucking group that he fucking has. And then yeah, it was last monster standing, and that's it. So that's Raw. Let's very quickly talk about SmackDown. Again, because a lot of bad blood tie-ins here. AJ Styles comes back, and they're already like doing an injury angle with him. It starts with a promo. Says Nashville is where it all started for him. That was a dead giveaway right fucking there. And AJ spoke about how he did things that he may regret and things he may not be forgiven for. Styles said he wasn't there to talk about the past, but he's here to rebuild the legacy of AJ Styles. And he said there's a lot of guys that still need to know that this is how AJ Styles built. Carmelo comes out. He talks some trash to AJ. It pretty much leads to them having a match, which the match seemed pretty decent, but it just ends suddenly due to AJ quote unquote being unable to compete after he like tweaked his knee or like might have broken his ankle, and he's kind of selling walking to the back. But then as the announcer saying, "And your winner, Carmelo," and then LA Blight comes out and he hits the fucking BFT because he's a badass.
Bro, the
And
sell, the bump Mello took off of the BFT was legend status.
I am, you know what, LA Knight, Thanksgiving is next month. You should be thankful that you're surrounded by people infinitely more talented than you that make your shit look good. Cause that's the job security you have.
Hmm.
Fucking stick ass piece of shit. Uh I fucking Jesus Christ. Um I will go back and I will make it a priority to watch this because this sounded like the highlight of SmackDown, the dumpster match. I want your thoughts on this
Oh, it was
personally.
so good. It was so fun. I love both these women, but especially Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, I love Meechin, but Chelsea is maybe my favorite, like personal favorite woman on SmackDown at least. I can't necessarily say that I would rank her above Io, but maybe like at the present moment, just because Io's not doing anything, I actually would actually because
I would rank Chelsea above Bailey because I used to love Bailey, but Bailey hasn't really done anything to
yeah,
me like worthwhile.
Chelsea's
So
just fantastic, man. She's so good right now. I absolutely love her. She's killing it. She's so entertaining. I mean, dude, you know how we keep on hearing all of this rhetoric from Democrats about how Kamala Harris is such a good fucking candidate that she's got AOC agreeing with or Joe Manchin.
yeah,
Well, shit, man. Chelsea Green is such a good fucking wrestler that she's got us agreeing with Vince fucking Russo.
dude, I know, and Bully Ray for that matter. Bully Ray said
Jesus
recently a
Christ.
few,
Yeah,
yeah, but
that's like she's a uniting force, man.
no, she really because like a few weeks ago when Julia debuted on NXT and like interrupted Chelsea and took her out, Bully Ray straight up said, "I would not have put Chelsea in that segment because she outshines everybody she's in the ring with." Like this woman, when she's getting praise from such diverse corners of the wrestling world, what are we doing? Like, I really fucking wish Nia wasn't the champion for many reasons, but I want to believe that there is a world where the women's championship is a viable goal for Chelsea Green. Cause my God, has she been putting in the fucking work, as has Meechin again. So I really need to go back. I really
Kind
need
of
to go
funny
back
how
and
Chelsea
watch this.
lost this match and yet she comes away from it coming off like the star.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't come out of it smelling like garbage. That's for damn sure. Even though she's
And yet
seemingly,
she
yeah,
actually literally did though, because like she once the match was over and she was fully like enclosed in the dumpster and Meechin's hand was raised high and everything, like post match, Chelsea stood up out of the dumpster covered in goop and garbage and disgustingness. And then they had a segment afterwards where she was walking backstage, and there were just all of like, it was first it was Pretty Deadly, then it was like A Town Down Under, all, and even like Nick Aldis got in on it, all these different people just reacting to how bad she smelled. And then later on in the night, after SmackDown was even over, Indy Hartwell posted a video of Chelsea still in full gear standing in the showers trying to get clean. And then even tonight during Bad Blood, there was a fucking segment up in like one of the suites at the arena where Bianca and Naomi and Jade were all chilling, and then Chelsea, and then one of them started saying like, "Oh, what's that smell?" And Chelsea and Piper show up, and Chelsea said she was gonna leave, and Piper was like, "I think I'm gonna stay."
Oh my god.
They've been doing such a good job capitalizing on this. It's amazing.
I really hope that this culminates in something real. Like honestly, guys, and again, this is me speaking purely as a fan. If the universe wrote in the stars, Women's Royal Rumble 2025 winner Chelsea Green, I'm not stopping the universe. I am like, you can write that message and you can send it everywhere for all I care. Like, yeah, yeah, I'm ready for this woman to get a fucking title run and for her to show what she can do with it. Because I feel like too, and I didn't watch this match. I'll have to go back and watch it. But I know there was a time when the crowd was getting more behind Chelsea and more endeared to Chelsea. I am wondering if that's still a thing or what, because I really do feel like you have a genuine likable babyface here. And imagine her as a babyface against somebody like Nia with how Chelsea bumps and sells. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot more money in Chelsea Green right now. Um, After that, okay, no, this was still the Bad Blood thing. Why did I not close out of this? We're done with this. This is old news. Okay. After that, we get the Bailey and Nia Jax segment. Not really gonna talk about that because that's a Bad Blood tie-in. Naomi beat Tiffany Stratton. Good. Fuck Tiffany. Way to go, Naomi. Um, Also, I know on that same SmackDown there was a segment between Bailey and Naomi where Bailey said, when I win, you'll get the first title shot. Well, that didn't really work out. So I wonder if Naomi's going to turn heel on Bailey because it's like you promised you'd win and you lost, and now like you left me out in the fucking cold. Or if Naomi's going to stay true to herself, which I would prefer because she's a sweetheart and I don't want to boo Naomi. Last time she turned heel, it was okay, but she's definitely a far better babyface. Uh, After that, we get the tag title ladder match. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa versus DIY versus Street Profits. Since this isn't a Bad Blood time, we can talk about this very briefly. What did you think about this ladder match?
I mean, it was all right. I genuinely barely paid any attention to it because I just wasn't expecting it to be all that amazing. And you already know I don't like ladder matches. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that's another reason why I asked because I know that this isn't a favorite stip for you. You and I are pretty much the same because I literally only looked at the ending to see who emerged, and of course, Bloodline did. I don't know why I was expecting Street Profits to win this.
Dude, it's so funny because I was expecting DIY to win.
Yeah, yeah, but no,
Especially because once they showed that video package implying that MCMG were going to be on SmackDown, I was thinking, oh god, DIY is definitely going to win now because Triple H is going to want to do those tag matches, DIY versus MCMG, these fucking yummy nummy ROH AEW style spot fests.
yes, yes. So yeah, yeah, Bloodline retain, and that's pretty much SmackDown. Now let's talk about NXT, which was the biggest show this week because again, it was their CW premiere.
Yep.
Um, Overall, I thought this was a solid episode. I did have fun with this. Uh, and yeah, I guess let's just go through it. Shawn Michaels opens the show, kind of does a whole little DX reunion with Triple H. Not really much to say there. But then our opening matchup is the NXT Women's Championship, Roxanne versus Julia. And all I can say is I can't wait for the rematch. I
Dude,
can't
I
wait for
know.
yeah.
This match was like literally if this match gets a clean finish and is allowed to just cook, it is genuine match of the year material. This was fantastic.
The counter wrestling.
I know. And dude, here's the
What?
thing too. We've been watching Julia now for like almost 5 years at this point. I've
Yeah.
never seen her bridge the super butterfly suplex.
Yes. That
Never
was
seen her do that
fucking
before. So she's adding wrinkles now that she's joined WWE. And it's like, damn, Julia, I didn't know you had it in you.
I mean, the STF into the crossface back into the S, like it just.
Yeah.
It's where I parked my car. You
Yep.
know, like
100%. Yep.
I was here for all of it. Um, let's talk about the big story though, because you and I we may love in ring, but I know you and I are more story driven, more character driven. Cora Jade returns.
Yeah,
How
she
do we feel about how
did.
this is executed? Oh, I
Oh.
hear that sigh there. Are we not a
I
fan?
I personally am not the biggest fan of Cora Jade. I don't think that she's really anything to write home about. I feel like she really just kind of muddies the story here. Like as far as I'm concerned, if this leads to a tag match where we get Stephanie Vaquer and Julia versus Roxanne and Cora, Cora is the pin eater in those matches every single day of the week.
Yes.
Um, I I just don't like that somebody and be clear here. I'm not saying that Cora is like some useless jobber that no one should ever invest in, that we should write off because she sucks or anything. I'm just saying, as far as right now goes, I think that someone the caliber of Cora Jade costing Julia this title shot is frankly silly.
Okay.
It makes Julia feel unserious to me. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you why I like it, but not even from the perspective of Cora Jade. It's more from the perspective of Roxanne, because there have been fans that have noted why they really like Roxanne as a heel is she sells the intimidation. Like you could tell, like even with Jada Parker after that slap, that she was like, "Oh God, this woman's serious. Like she's gonna
Yeah.
come at me with everything. I could actually lose." But then, like what they like about Roxanne is she doesn't cheat. She just out wrestles her opponent. It's always a war of attrition, and Roxanne finds a way to win. This really, to me, sells the threat of Julia when this is the first time in Roxanne's title reign that she has straight up cheated, that she has relied on somebody else. And here's the thing, I don't even think Roxanne knew that that was going to happen, because
No.
they have a backstage segment later where she even asked Cora, what was that about?
Yeah.
Implying she knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So for Roxanne, the character, she remains clean to me. But I do think she's going to lean into it, though. I do think she's not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. She's like, hell, if somebody's going to help me retain title against somebody that might be better than me,
They're
which, so
doing
again,
here what we wanted them to do with Tara.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think it really, even taking out the specificity of Cora personally being the one to do the interference, I think it really sells the threat of Julia relative to Roxanne's reign. Like, oh man, Julia's so good. This is the first time that Roxanne needed outside help, and she didn't even ask for it, but she got it and she took advantage of it. And yeah, like I just want that kind of story where somehow Cora gets neutralized, Julia gets her proper one-on-one match with Roxanne, and then that's the changing of the guard. Although I will say, I'm happy it didn't happen right away. I like the idea that we're telling a story where Julia is kind of an underdog, because that's new territory for her too. Because she's never felt like an underdog to me in Stardom, like ever. So the idea that she has something to overcome is very interesting territory for her to play with. And yeah, as far as Cora and Roxanne, I even have to wonder too in the future, how much of a package deal is WWE committed to making these women? Could we be thinking about them maybe as women's tag team champions, in the future on the main roster? I personally wouldn't like that. I think Roxanne is an insane singles competitor. I want to see her win women's championships. I want to see her in the Rhea Ripley programs and the Bianca programs and Lyra again, because they cooked at that fucking takeover, or that one fucking stand and deliver, not takeover, stand and deliver. So there's a lot for Roxanne to do. And Cora, I'm kind of the same boat as you, where I've always been kind of male on Cora, but we'll see how this run goes. But yeah, I thought this was a really well done opener, and God, I can't wait for the rematch, because they have so much more to fucking do. After that, we have, okay, yes, CM Punk talking to Ava, blah blah blah, fucking Punk. Street fight. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I noped out of this. There were parts of this show that I'm like, I haven't cared for the feud. I'm gonna read instead, or I'm gonna do whatever. So I did
Which
not
street
watch the
fight was
street
this
fight.
now?
Zachary Wentz versus Wesley in a street fight.
Oh God, did I watch this? I might have not watched this either.
Well, then we can skip it then, because yeah,
Yeah,
Wesley
I don't
does win.
remember this at all.
Wesley does win. Then we get Ms. TV with Obafemi and Tony D'Angelo. I did see a little bit of this. Um, Here's the thing. Oba just looks like he should be on the cover of GQ every goddamn month. And I think he did well here. He kind of repeated the same line where he just feels like Tony is broken. He could see it in his eyes, like that Tony's just trying to convince himself. Tony does the babyface thing where it's like I'm gonna beat the unbeatable and I'm gonna be the North American champion. Obafemi is now officially the longest reigning North American champion of all time. 270 plus days.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Oba. Definitely deserved. Definitely believable. Let's hope it doesn't end on Tuesday. Um, so with that, like after that, oh god, we got Fatal Influence versus Jada Parker and Lola Vice. I didn't really care for this, like, at all. I don't really believe in Fatal Influence. I'm not really interested in them doing anything with Kalani. Um, I don't really know how. You know what? You know what? I do know how I feel. I like that Jada abandoned Lola because I don't take it as a heel thing. I take it as a Jada Parker thing. I have likened her to like a late '90s Stone Cold in the sense of like that DTA. I'll beat up anybody, that kind of thing. And yeah, that's what it was. Jada has made it clear from the jump. She does not like Lola. She's a loner. She doesn't want to be in tag teams. So I don't look at this as, oh my God, Jada, how could you do this? It's like, I told you twice. So yeah, that happened. I don't even dislike Lola either, but I'm definitely more of a Jada fan. So I definitely was like, yeah, Jada, you do you. And Fatal Influence picks the scraps, and then they're like, oh, now we're coming after Kalani. But oh, wait, Kalani had a backup plan. She invited the women's tag team champions, Bianca and Jade. It really is amazing how cooled off Bianca feels and how just in a weird place Jade feels, even though they are tag
Bianca
team
had an
champions.
amazing moment tonight that I wanted to tell you about actually.
Oh, what happened?
Dude, again, you remember how I was telling you about the Chelsea segment up in the suite?
Yes.
Well, earlier on in the night, it was when they first introduced that Jade, Bianca, and Naomi were going to be in that suite. And at a certain point in that interview, Naomi said that she was going to be rooting for her girl Bailey to win her match and beat Nia. And then the interviewer held the mic over to Bianca, and just Bianca's delivery on this was so good. And it's like you really do have to see it to fully appreciate it. But Bianca, super like sarcastically, was like, oh, what were the exact wording? I typed it out. Oh, she said, I wish her the best of luck. This really forced smile on her face because Bianca still has shade or still does not like Bailey. It was perfect. It was so good.
I will never forgive WWE though, dude, for not giving us that feud.
I
That
know.
I will never,
Yeah.
never. Jesus Christ, leaving money on the goddamn table because
It was
segments like that,
still
yeah.
such a good segment, though. It was amazing.
No, and I'm glad you gave it praise, but that just like, yeah, that's why I'm saying like Bianca always delivers. Bailey, when she has something, well, really, even when she has shit to work with, she always tries to
I mean,
deliver. I mean, she even
there's
she
only
can't
so
work
much she
miracles.
can do as far as tonight goes. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. The idea of WWE that you never put them together, that you never told the complex story of even when you're trying to change it doesn't mean everybody's gonna forgive you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You god damn it. God damn it. Um, so yeah, Fatal Influence, we'll see. Nobody does it like Lonnie though, so I'm not really too
Yeah.
confident they're gonna be able to do
It's
much.
true.
You and your self pops, mister.
I didn't
Um,
even pop myself that time. You popped me.
well, you know what? I'm proud of it. What are you gonna do about it?
Good. I'm
Nothing.
glad. You should be.
Yeah, I am. Thanks, God. Uh,
God. Weirdo.
fuck. All right. NXT Championship. It's Trick versus Ethan with Punk as the referee, and nobody gives a shit about you, Punk. Um, I'm gonna say it. I thought this was a solid match. Right guy won. That's essentially it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, that's really all it comes down to, right? It's really just a matter of like, hey, Trick won, and that's all I care about.
there's definitely gonna be a third match between these guys. Cause see, now the story to me
Oh,
is,
I don't want it.
oh well, Ethan, you won the title by falling on somebody, literally. And then Ethan's gonna be like, Trick, you only won the title because CM Punk was guest referee and he helped you. Even if we don't think that that's true, that's gonna be his heel delusion, right? So then you need a third match to definitively see who the better guy is, and then hopefully Trick just wins. Although, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, bro. I would not be surprised if Ethan got the title back either. Like, I sometimes don't know with the NXT main event scene what they're thinking.
No, I mean, as much as I hate it, I can't argue with you. You're not wrong.
Thank you, thank you. When you support my face like this, it's always like, yes, I knew I was right. So, but hopefully, again, Trick does retain. I just want to be perfectly clear about that. I'm just saying I'm unsure because I never know what Jonathan is thinking. So, Punk celebrates a Trick, hits the GTS on Ethan to fucking end the show. Cool, whatever. And that was NXT on the CW. I'm looking forward to this coming Tuesday when we've got Javon Evans versus Randy Orton and Obafemi versus Tony. Should be fun. Any other thoughts about NXT before we move on?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Is there anything from AEW that you want to talk about? Because I can tell you right now that I don't. So it's going to
I
be all you, bud.
honestly, bro, I gotta tell you, 2 hours into the Bad Blood show tonight, Collision started, and because we were in a call with Curtis, I got to hear all about what was happening on Collision while I was trying to enjoy Bad Blood. So I'm all AEW'd out, and I'd rather not talk about it.
I I'm gonna send you some hug stickers on Facebook. You seem like you went through it today.
You're the best. I love you.
So I'm gonna do that because like between a mediocre WWE PLE again, which I do not like the trend of, because you said it earlier so perfectly. It's like their TV is being written better than their
And
PLEs.
I'll tell you, if AEW was a product that was just on fire and I was subjecting myself to a horrible WWE product and that AEW show was just the fucking oasis in the desert, I would have been cool with it. But AEW fucking blows too, so I just got to deal with shitty wrestling squared tonight.
Yeah, I sent you 4 hug stickers because that's a really
I
dire
really,
situation.
really appreciate that. Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So I guess I got another question because you know it's usually I know for me any extracurriculars this week.
No.
No? Okay. Let's open up the forum for questions, guys, about this week in the world of wrestling, which would include Bad Blood. So let's talk
Yeah,
about
feel
it.
free. We've got 8 viewers right now. Super Blue's here. Alex is here. Caster Sales, Draven. I know my mom's here. Sal was here earlier. That's interesting. Well, good to see you, Sal. Javaris was here earlier. I don't know if he's still around. Who else was here? This Paul was actually, he popped in at one point. I don't know if he's still here. That might be it. That might cover everyone. Superior Paul, by the way. Caster Sales has the
Yeah.
first question. With MVP and Shelton on the realm, Bobby is not far away. Do you think there's any chance of him becoming AEW champion?
Um I don't think Bobby will ever be AEW champion, but then again,
You know what?
who knows?
I'm First of all, I agree with you, unfortunately, but second of all, I'm also going to say if Bobby Lashley never becomes AEW champion, it is a massive, massive strike against Tony Khan because, frankly, how old was Chris Jericho when he won the title back in 2019?
Oh God, probably too old with his fucking scrub ass.
Well, it was 5 years ago, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
53 now.
God, yeah. So he would have been 48 then,
Yeah. So
at
how old
least.
is
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley right now?
I don't know.
40 fucking 8.
Wow. Well, there you go.
So if you're not willing to give Bobby Lashley, who is an actual superior fucking specimen and superior athlete at that, if you're not willing to give that guy your world title, I mean, I can't think of any reason, especially because his name value is actually on a level with Jericho, maybe even higher. Because let's not forget, Bobby Lashley wrestled a match involving Donald Trump at WrestleMania. Jericho's never done anything on that level of fame.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Lashley's name has been literally associated with a president of the United States historically. Bobby Lashley is more famous than Chris Jericho, I would argue.
Yeah.
He's got bigger name value. He's got a fucking excellent talker as a manager, assuming he does end up hooking up with MVP. MVP is a fantastic mic worker. And Lashley can still go in the ring. He's got an incredible look, which Jericho was literally still dad bod Jericho at that point, and it's only gotten worse since then. Bobby Lashley 100% should be an AEW world champion, and I'll even go as far as to say he should be within the next year. Because frankly, if they're gonna have Moxley be the one to beat Danielson for the AEW world title, Lashley should be the one to beat Moxley for it. Because if
Yeah.
you're gonna have a fucking white supremacist faction, the best way to conclude that storyline is with a fucking Black Power faction beating them. Lashley should 100% be an AEW World Champion. And again, I'm taking it a step further and saying not only should he be one in general, he should be one within the next year. And if they're going to have Moxley beat Danielson for the title, Lashley should be the one to beat him for it. That's how far I'll go.
I think I more or less co-sign, especially when again, and you heard that right, folks. John Moxley's current gimmick, he took that inspiration from a film that has a white supremacist anti-hero, Romper Stomper. So yeah, yeah, that's AEW in 2024 for you. Um, I have to say too before we go back to questions, I saw a clearer video of Kevin Owens beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes, and honestly, my personal opinions on KO and how they write him as a character aside, nice. Um,
Love that
so
for you,
yeah,
bud. Love that for you.
yeah. I mean, he was kicking the absolute dog shit out of him. Literally, I think he even got some rib shots in there. So I can finally say, unironically, happy wheezing, fuckface.
Nice. I
So
love that. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Fuck you, Chodius. Um, Now let's see here. Super Blue, do you think Wheeler will turn on DB in the tag match on Wednesday? BCC didn't fight back when Wheeler attacked them. Dude, I hope not. Like, God, but then again, I
Wow,
really
I
don't give a
love
shit
how I
anyway.
said I'm all AEW'd out, and yet we've exclusively gotten questions regarding AEW so far. That's awesome. I
It's like
love that
nobody
for
even cared.
us.
It's like nobody even cared that I gave you 4 hug stickers about this. Like, what?
It's like they
Um,
thought, well, Ashton got those 4 hug stickers, so it's like he's reset. He can handle questions about
yeah,
AEW now. Fuck.
Jesus. So yeah, maybe Super Blue. It's AEW. Who gives a shit? Um, Foster, with Naito teasing matches with Hiromu and Shingo, do you think Naito Hiromu is finally happening sooner rather than later? I mean, God, if New Japan finally shit or get off the pot on anything, it'd be a miracle, Foster. So let's hope. Let's
Do we
hope.
do? I mean, isn't when is KOPW? Is that this month or is that November?
I think it's this month, right? KOPW should be in October.
Okay.
So yeah, Zach's getting his title shot this month too, right? So, oh boy, oh God, oh God. I'm just remembering what company we're talking about, and I'm like, oh God, oh God. The Caster Sales. Do you think they will
You're
do?
giving very Chris Griffin energy there. Oh my god.
Fuck Chris Griffin. Caster Sales. Do you think they will do Bobby versus Swerve? Will this end up like the feud with Keith Lee? Oh, so I guess you mean like would Swerve turn on Prince Nana? Is how I take it. Um, I mean,
Huh?
I don't.
I
Well,
mean, I
because
was under
Swerve.
the impression that we were getting like I guess I was hoping really that we would get like full on faction warfare, where we get like an MVP faction versus a Prince Nana faction, but it might just end up being Bobby versus Swerve. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, but I wonder if people are thinking that Swerve might just join MVP because I like
I
it
mean,
would.
what would Nana even do at that point? Nana's entire gimmick is dancing to Swerve's theme song.
He'd have to find another theme to dance to. Maybe this is AEW kind of teasing guys. We kept Ricky Starks in the fold. We're gonna put Prince Nana and Ricky Starks together. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore because I don't watch the fucking product. I don't know what they're doing. But like I could just picture Swerve getting on the microphone after joining MVP and being like, you know why I turned on Nana? It's because it's his fault that my childhood home got burned down. And I'm like, no, my guy, I'm pretty sure it was Hangman Page's fault, but
Also, I'm pretty sure he was the one that got you the home in the first place. I saw the fucking segment on YouTube.
I'm just saying, bro. Heel writing 101, you know that's gonna be one of the reasons or something.
God,
Like, I
why
don't know.
why do heels have to just be like, haha, logic? What the fuck is that?
Really, I would respect it more, mainly because this is how I would turn heel. John, why did you do it? Because I could and I wanted to. Fuck you.
Yeah,
And then walk
yeah,
out.
yeah. That's a great fucking heel. I love those heels.
Yeah, like you don't even need to logic everything, but if you're not gonna logic everything, don't be illogical about it. Don't do the
My
converse, you
my
fucking
favorite
mark.
there are two heels that I love. My two favorite types of heels are A, the justified kind, aka Drew McIntyre right now, and two, the don't give a fuck kind. I can't come up with a specific example right now, but I love the kind that's like the kind you just described basically.
And when we say don't give a fuck kind before anybody puts that fucking slander on our names, we mean with more charisma and actual like energy than Pete fucking Dunne. Excuse me, Butch.
That
Um,
that guy, I mean, he clearly cares a lot because like he gets triggered really easily with one word.
Call me Butch. I will call you what I want. I have a very respectable distance. What are you going to do about it? God. Um, where the fuck even were we? Okay. Your mom asked, now I have to be tender with this question because it's her and I love her so much. Do you think WWE will have another Liv
Do you think
Rhea?
Pete Dunne gets angry if you call him a masculine lesbian, or does it have to be the exact word?
I think it has to be the exact word. I think if you did
Damn,
it the other way, like if you tried to be all like lexical about it, he would just look at you, not even with the shrug face, but with a bewildered face. You would unlock a new done face.
damn.
That's how like broken he'd probably be hearing that.
Well, I'm not
But
trying to advance through levels of Dunne. I just want to get him away from me.
yeah, I'm pretty mindful of completing my own evolution.
I'd
Everybody
like to
else can
be
keep
done
going.
with Dunne.
And there you go. So again, your mom asked, "Do you think WWE will have another Liv Rhea for the title soon?" Bestie, I'm even wondering if they're
Soon,
going to
no.
try and extend this to WrestleMania, even like at this
Maybe
point.
I could see it honestly, yeah. Because it feels like right now, because Raquel just got added to the situation, she's gonna be like shielding Liv basically. Like we're gonna get Rhea versus Raquel for like 3 months now.
Bro,
Assuming Raquel's body doesn't fucking turn on her again. Because like literally Raquel's body could literally just be like, oh haha, allergy attack.
yeah. I love the little laugh you did there as part of the autoimmune disease. Like, as it just wakes up, has a little cackle. Today's a great day to fuck up shit, and then it just does it.
It's
Oh, man.
unironically though, like Raquel literally has a condition that will just sporadically and randomly make her body decide that she's having an allergic reaction to nothing.
Yeah. Oh, air? That's an allergy.
Yeah,
Um,
unironically though, yes.
yeah. Um, I will say too, if Rhea wasn't
Anaphylactic shock? What's that? Raquel
yeah.
Rodriguez is well familiar with it.
If Rhea wasn't so fucking good, I honestly wouldn't mind her and Dom being the WrestleMania match. And I guess you still could, but I know like with her being one of the best women, you want her to face other like exemplary women and just have those great women's matches at Mania. But like I still would love a Rhea Dom singles match. Like I think again,
Dude,
there's just
I can't
yeah.
believe they never did. That's why I was actually kind of fucking upset at SummerSlam when Dom just betrayed Rhea right away. Like, you can drag this shit out, and they didn't. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable that Triple H is like really well known for dragging stories out and long title runs and making everything last too long. And yet there was stuff specifically at SummerSlam this year. I remember being upset because he rushed shit.
I'm really starting to wonder if the nose really does know, brother. Because I'll tell you,
I'm
if it
beginning to think
doesn't,
that maybe the nose is compensating for having a nose that's maybe a little bit too long by making certain things a little bit too short.
wow. Well, I mean, it never sired a son, so. All right.
That's also true. That's also true.
Super, super blue
I wonder if
asking, do
he's
you?
insecure about that, or if like he has like actually like just it's nothing it's something that he's like never really been bothered by, or if it's like what, what do you mean that doesn't bother me?
No, he's definitely insecure.
Yeah.
I, I would put
Do you
money on
think
it
it's something
personally.
that Vince like harped on him about for years?
Oh, dude,
Do you I like
absolutely.
because it's Vince, right? Vince was like, well, Hunter, you gonna make me a grandson, or am I gonna keep relying on Shane for that, there, pal?
God damn it, that impression. I really tried to hold it together. I didn't want to give it to you, but you got it. You
Did
got
the
it. Fuck.
pal seal the deal?
It did. It did. Because I'm just thinking, oh, I guess I gotta rev up the whole genetic jackhammer again if I'm gonna do it myself. You do it then.
God,
Fine, I'll do it myself.
are you gonna give my daughter a son, or you need me to do it for you?
Oh god. I don't care what they say about the gene pool. The man is the exception. Damn it.
Oh no.
All right, well, that was our fucked up moment of the podcast. Let's get back to questions like normal
I
people.
love Alex Foster's comment here. Well, Raquel must be allergic to pops because she got none. I added that last part. He's just said, well, Raquel must be allergic to pops. Yeah, she got no reaction at all.
Buster, I'm gonna ask you to simmer down and stop
No,
being
no,
so
no, no,
perfect
no,
so
no,
you
no, no,
can
no,
leave
no, no, no,
something
no,
for
no,
the rest
no.
of us.
Don't simmer down, Alex. Please, never simmer down.
Yeah. I'm just saying, leave something for the rest of us because I'd be dying out here when you're
Don't.
monopolizing all the handsome and charisma.
I don't
Holy
want you to
fuck.
leave anything for the rest of us because if you're capable of it, I want you to do it.
There you go. Um, But no, in all seriousness, you're wonderful. Love that.
Yes.
And back to questions. Super Blue, do you feel like Wes will be the next challenger for Trick? I actually do agree with this.
Did he
Wes
win the
teased,
street fight?
he did win the street fight, and he teased
Oh,
Naomi
that's
was the
right, because he
next
did like the
move.
fucking meteora through what with like chains and chair or something like that. I don't remember. I
Yeah,
know he
yeah.
won with a meteora though, involving weapons.
Yes, yes, he did. Um, so yeah, I do because there was even like a backstage exclusive interview where he said like I've got some ideas, like I'm ready to put like the Rascals
We know he
behind
ain't
me.
gonna go after Oba.
Yeah, well, I've been there, done that, or I should say, been there, lost that.
I love that we
Uh,
live in a world where the North American champion is legitimately just like a scarier, bigger threat than the world champion. I fucking love that shit.
yeah, lovely
I
trick, but
re-
yeah.
I just because I just brought this up, I just have to double down. I really don't want Tony D winning that title off of him, even if it is his second attempt.
Did your burner account have a nice celebration today at him being the longest reigning North American champion?
We don't
I
have
feel
to
like it
talk
must
about
have
that.
been
Let's
your
move on.
favorite. All right, yeah, fair enough. All right, so Super Blue, I'm not gonna take that as an actual question because he said like, why the fuck is she back helping Liv? Well, because I guess they just wanted to slot Raquel in somewhere. Next proper question. Actually, I think actually Will it was from Super Blue because there was one below the trick question that I overlooked. Do you think Bianca will get Naomi to go heel, or do you think Naomi will side with Bailey after what happened on SmackDown and Bad Blood? I'm inclined to think that they're gonna try Naomi as a heel again, which is unfortunate. Um, I personally don't see it, but I think that's where they're going.
Hmm?
What do you think? Do you think a Naomi Hill turn's incoming?
I really, really hope not. Um, Low key, if anything, it would be kind of hilarious if it was Bianca and Jade that went heel instead, and Naomi and Bailey stayed face. I think that would be amazing and funny as hell.
Bro, imagine if Naomi and Bailey win the tag titles, like off of Bianca and Jade, and then it
That's what I
goes
mean,
from
though.
like,
They could
yeah,
potentially do that, and then like Bianca is so angry about it that she like doesn't attack, and like you could argue she'd be justified, but also that would still be a heel turn for them for sure, or at least for
yeah,
her, because I don't know how Jade would react. It would be interesting if they had Bianca attack specifically Bailey, and then like Jade and Naomi are trying to pull her off. Like, what the hell are you
yeah. Why are
doing?
you stopping this? You know this needs to happen.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, we'll have to see. Caster Sales. Do you think the fact that Gunther wants his dad's approval and fears not getting it explains in kayfabe his classism, since it seems it came from his father? Oh, wait, is that actually like canon, or was this like Gunther speaking out of character? I need context for this. Do you know anything
Oh.
about this?
Um. Wait. What?
Okay, let me start over. Caster Sales question.
I'm
Do
reading
you
it.
think, yeah, do you think the fact that Gunther wants his dad's approval and fears not getting it explains
Oh,
in
that's from
kayfabe his
Raw.
classism?
That's from Raw.
Okay, so what? Like Sammy brought up Gunther's dad or something,
No,
or Gunther brought
Gunther
up his.
brought up his dad prompted. Actually, it was interesting.
Oh, interesting. So we're getting a look into the psyche of Gunther. All right. Did it do well for the character, or was it an awkward character beat?
Well, it was like a really interesting moment where he basically talked about how after he lost to Sam because there was this whole like did you not watch Raw?
No. I didn't see this segment. I
Damn.
only watched YouTube clips.
Shit. Yeah, so Gunther and Sammy had an in-ring promo on Raw, and it was really fucking good. So Gunther, yeah, I'm glad. I'm really was this Caster that said this? I'm really glad you brought this up, Caster. Thank you.
Yeah, Caster
Because
asked this
there
question.
was this really great segment in the ring that actually led to Gunther finally giving and caving and giving Sammy his match, which is why we're getting it this coming Monday. Where Gunther, tells Sammy, "You're not on my level again," and Sammy says, "Well, if I'm not on your level, then how did I beat you at Mania?" And Gunther's like, "You know what? You're right. I am afraid, but I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid for my reputation." Because after everything that I did for that Intercontinental Championship, losing it to the better man, wouldn't have been a problem. But losing to you has been the biggest embarrassment of my career. I was so
Oh.
busy embarrassing you in front of your own family that eventually it ended up that I lost in front of my own family and you embarrassed me in front of my own family. And then he basically talked about how he was so confident that he was going to beat Sammy at Mania that he actually flew his own family over, but he didn't parade them around like Sammy did just to get some sympathy. But when it was all said and done and he did lose to Sammy, he had to go back and look his father in the eye. And his father asked him, "Son, I flew all the way from Vienna to Philadelphia just to watch you lose against the bum Sami Zayn. So this was Gunther talking about his father telling him this. So it's very much implied that Gunther's father is the one who sets such high expectations for him and has kind of turned him into who he is today. It's almost kind of like a fits in the framework situation, honestly.
Yeah, God, that was a dark storyline, but so good.
But it's
Um,
kind of what this is, low key, though.
yeah. Do you think, now that I have context of that promo, and again, I didn't really want to talk too much about this because we knew like it was more of a of like a raw thing, and they kind of touched on it at Bad Blood with like the brawl that they had. Do you think that this that segment hurts Sammy though? Because we always talk about the art of the promo. Like if you bury your opponent and then you beat your opponent, well then who did you beat? And if he's got his own father calling him like a bum, if Gunther does beat Sammy on Monday, which I'm still expecting,
Yeah.
is that really even a big win for Gunther? Or do we think like because of the way they framed it, that's just Gunther projecting and it is going to be a big win for him because it's like, okay, now that's like a monkey off my back. Like I proved I can beat Sammy kind of thing.
Well, the
Because I
cool
don't
thing
know.
is, after this whole thing with Gunther, Sammy did a really motivational speech where he said, "What do I do when I fail in front of my family? I pick myself up. I keep moving forward. What did you do when you failed in front of your family? You crumbled. You didn't even ask for a rematch. You just tucked your tail between your legs and you ran off and you hid. You disappeared off WWE TV for months. You didn't even show your face here because you were embarrassed. You were humiliated, and all because your dad made you feel like a loser. Well, now you're showing your dad that not only is his son a loser, he's also a coward. And that's when Gunther attacked him and Dave gave him his match. So that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fucking, it was a great promo segment. It was fantastic.
Would you say it was like a promo segment like of the year material when we think
It
about
might
it?
have
Like
been, yeah, it might have been low key for sure.
interesting, interesting. So yeah, I mean, look, for me, I love when you can give characters like Gunther that seemingly are just I'm really, really good at wrestling and I'm arrogant about it. That kind of depth because
I
I do
love that
wonder if it
too.
would.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
and again, this is almost like fucking character growth 101, and it's really just something that I wish Tony Khan, unironically and not even trying to take shots, not even trying to be like, well, Tony Khan sucks, but literally just sincerely, I wish Tony Khan could learn from this, because you can make a guy who's literally just a good wrestler work. Because why is that his entire life? Why is it that this character only wants to be good at wrestling and doesn't have a personality other than that? Maybe they were really fucking pressured by their parents. And even Gunther even said in his promo, I'm the golden goose of my family. I am Gunther. I am special. Like, you can tell that he has this sense of self that's been built up over years, not just by his own success, but by his family's expectations. And that is the type of character nuance that you will fucking never see in AEW. Ever.
bro. If I trusted WWE's writing, which maybe I should, because this is more TV writing, but when it comes to the PLEs, we know how shaky it's been. There is such a story here that culminates in Gunther being an ultimate babyface. Because, like, I actually, speaking of extracurriculars, I didn't do it this week, but I did watch tidbits of Shelton Benjamin's interview with Chris Van Vliet, because I do check in on these sometimes. And he was talking about when they did the whole Shelton Benjamin's mama angle and like how that all came together and the plan for it. And unfortunately, the actress that played his mama got sick, so they really couldn't finish it. I'm wondering though, in this day and age, like if it was a Lucha Underground type setting, I would love if they made Gunther's father down the line like a character that was like a really strict like manager or whatever, and like was really, really hard on Gunther and would kind of play into those elements of like, I gotta do it, I'm the golden goose of my family. And then like it just culminates with Gunther turning babyface by like giving a chop to his dad or something because his chops are fucking legendary. Like, I don't know. My mind just races when you talk about stuff like that because we're definitely in an age where wrestling shouldn't be afraid to broach these types of stories. That's where really Lucha Underground did break ground when they're talking about like stalkers like Marty the Moth against Melissa Santos and the trauma of war with AR Fox and Swerve, Kill Shot and stuff like that. Like I want those kinds of stories. Hell, even KO and Cody, there might be some nuance there from KO's side. I'll be interested in hearing his rationale for why he beat the fucking shit out of Cody by his tour bus probably this Friday. So to know that Gunther's got that depth to him, it makes me think like, okay, how much mileage can we get out of that? Because there is a real baby face in there to me because how many people have had an over demanding parent or an abusive parent because they were projecting on their kids or too hard on their kids. So yeah, I love that. I think that's really fucking cool. All right, let's see. Super Blue again. Do you think the loser of the NXT tag titles will turn on their partner this Tuesday? Um,
The loser
it,
of the tag title match?
yeah, because it's gonna be Fraxium versus A Town Down Under.
Oh, they're not gonna do the A Town Down Under heel turn like the breaking up of that tag team on NXT. I don't think.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen yet.
So really, that comes
Um,
down to: do you think that A Town Down Under are going to win the tag titles? And frankly, no, I don't. I think that they got the win over the Javon Cedric team as a way to just kind of build them up as like, oh yeah, don't forget these guys are main roster talents. They are really good. Like they, let's not forget that like we treat main roster talents as like a better, bigger deal than the NXT talents. So that you never know, they might pick up the win just to kind of build them up so that we can knock them down then by having the tag champions retain and have it mean more. Um, but because then I do expect for Fraxium to retain, I don't obviously expect for them to lose, which therefore means I don't expect them to have any kind of betrayal.
right. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy paste. I don't think they're wasting any kind of betrayal on an NXT show. No offense to NXT, but like I don't know. I just think that's gonna happen on a
At
different
PLE?
timeline. Beg pardon? Yeah,
Do you
PLE,
think that's going
yeah.
to be at a PLE?
Yeah. Um, let's see. Super Bowl again. Why does Gunther want to fight Cody in the desert? I don't know if this is in reference to Crown Jewel and the whole championship. It's not really Gunther's choice, man. That's more creative. So yeah, not really much to say there. Super Blue again. How do you think War Games its Rosers is going to
Wait,
form after the results of Bad Blood?
what about? Oh, never mind. It was an unserious question. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I see what you're referencing. Yeah. Um, So yeah, how does War Games at Survivor Series going to form out of the results of Bad Blood? Honestly, at this point, I could see KO aligning with Solo and his team if
I was
Solo and
gonna
his
say
team.
I had the same thought, dude. I was thinking, dude, can you imagine if the 4-on-4 doesn't even involve the Tongans because it's Kevin, Dwayne, Solo, and Jacob?
That'd be I mean that team just wins, right? Just for The Rock and Jacob alone, like
And then it
Jesus
would be
Christ.
like what? Like, I mean, yeah, I do think they would win, but I also think the other team would probably be like Cody, Roman, Randall, and maybe Allen.
Maybe
Because
Allen,
Allen
maybe.
did say like he had a lot of respect for Cody in the promo. I want to say that he cut on Friday. So maybe that's the 4-man team. But the reason I included Randall is because I'm thinking the way that we can kind of allow that team to lose without making it seem like a total blowout is by having Randy turn.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think they're building up for that. They're definitely building up for having Randy be like the next big challenger for Cody's title. So that I think having him betray Cody in War Games would be a great way to set up for that. Plus, then by having that betrayal, it's like they didn't need that betrayal to win because it's just a stacked team. But having the betrayal happen kind of protects Cody and Roman, especially in a way that, like, they might have won without that happening, even if it definitely wouldn't have.
Yeah, I gotta say, I know he's OP, and so ultimately it really doesn't matter, but it makes me really happy to see all these people turning on Cody. Like I really hope it gives him a complex. I doubt it will, but
The funniest
it's
thing is everyone's expecting it to lead to him turning heel, and it's just never gonna fucking happen.
yeah. See, there are so many different videos of KO beating the shit out of Cody. Now, this is a real quality one. You could see clear as day. Yeah, that's KO, and man, he kicked the shit out of him. Way to go, Kevin. You were in the right. I don't know what Cody said. You know, Cody said some disrespectful shit to him too. It's like fuck you, man. Um, let's
They're
see.
not going to show
Super.
that though. They're not going to show that. They're just going to show the part where he gets the shit kicked out of him, and they're going to be like, "Oh, Kevin Owens is a villain now. Oh no!
Yeah, what did Cody say though that prompted the altercation? Like, there are two sides to this.
Why did he
Okay,
deserve it?"
yeah, exactly. I already tweeted that Kevin Owens is in the right without any other evidence. Why? Because I know. Because fuck Cody Rhodes. Super
I mean,
Blue.
Cody Rhodes literally went out of his way to humiliate Kevin Owens at Clash of the Castle. Like, we already know that. Kevin literally went out of his way to admit, like, I know that I'm not worthy of a shot at the WWE title. And Cody fucking insisted. And then they threatened to put Roman in that spot, knowing damn well that Kevin would never allow it. So they forced his hand, and then Cody starts buddying up to Roman. What the fuck is his problem? Jesus Christ. Fuck
Yeah,
you, Cody.
when you're right, you're right. Kevin's the victim here
And at this
again.
point, also, can we also just
Yeah,
point out all of Kevin's ops are aligning because like Cody is turning into one of Kevin's ops. Roman has been Kevin's op the whole time. Like it's just happening for sure.
I mean, Roman made fun of Kevin's grandparents. Like that meant a lot to Kevin, and Cody's like,
And that's the
I
thing
don't
is
know.
like Solo and that bloodline, they've done the type of harm that you expect to be done in pro wrestling, but the harm caused by Roman Reigns to Kevin Owens is above and beyond what you expect in pro wrestling.
Exactly. Like, read the fucking room,
Like
Codius.
Kevin can
Jesus.
accept teaming with Solo and gang because that's like, it's like whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, wait a minute. Actually, wait a minute. Let me back up. Was it Kevin? It was actually. I think it was Kevin that they tried to hit with a car, wasn't it?
Hey, look, it was, but strange bedfellows, okay?
Okay,
Strange
so
bedfellows.
so maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's a little shaky.
Look, all I know is that Cody only cares about himself. I mean, this is the same guy that could criticize Logan Paul in one breath and then shake his hand in another. This dude's a politician. KO is anti-politician, clearly, with how he kicked the shit out of Cody. So, I don't know. I'm pro KO. Fight Owens fight, baby. Get that championship.
Oh
Um,
man, are we gonna have our first ever three-way War Games match? No, not actually. That was not a real suggestion. Move on.
oh, okay. You're beautiful though. It's okay. So Super Blue, after watching Pro Wrestling Bits video on the AEW deal, do you think this is their last chance to get it right? I mean, it certainly seemed that way, Super Blue. Like,
No, of course not. There's no such thing as a last chance to get it right when you're funded by a billionaire. The last chance to get it right is whenever the billionaire decides it is.
yeah, and that's billionaire. Does he even have more money than the Carters when they've been keeping TNA running all this fucking time? Like, Jesus. So like, if TNA's been going all this time, you know that fucking AEW can go as long as Tony Khan wants it to. He'll fucking fund it in his back fucking yard if he doesn't get a TV deal. Like he's always gonna have a way. He's always gonna have a way. But do I think this
I
is an
mean, dude,
important moment?
who Dixie Carter, what were her parents' name? Panda Energy, right?
Yeah.
No. That's who she bought the shares of TNA from. I'm trying to figure out how much money her family has.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
I
I'm
couldn't tell
thinking
you.
it's like fucking pocket change compared to the cons.
Yeah.
Dixie Carter Salinas. Net worth 5 million? Are you fucking kidding me? That is pocket
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
The highest
Yeah.
projection
AEW.
I've
Yeah.
seen is 10 million, but even still, Tony Khan is worth like 8 billion. That's 1,000 times Dixie Carter. And
Yeah.
his
Like.
dad is worth a similar amount too. Like Shad Khan is a billionaire as well.
Yeah. I just.
Actually, his dad's
Yeah.
worth even more. Shad Khan's worth 13 billion. Fuck.
Yeah. This company ends when Tony Khan gets bored.
That
Like.
unironically, when Tony gets bored or when his dad pulls the plug.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just keep watching the video of Kevin beating the shit out of Cody. It brings me a sense of joy.
I should have
Um.
known that that's what you were distracted by. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fucking Cody tried to act all like, oh no, don't. It's like God, we know you did something. But anyway, yeah, I don't think it's their last chance because I do double down that it ends when Tony gets bored. But do I think it's an important moment for AEW? Sure. Like I think you always want to show that you can turn your product around and be compelling television. How you are not studying Raw, especially Raw, because I do think that's their best television program on the whole. Although NXT's been kind of catching up to them again for me. How you're not studying Raw every week and seeing what they're doing right and what's resonating, and then
Yeah.
being like, oh, let's give that to our guys, but instead having Ricochet and Will Ospreay do their flippy fucking shit, which Jesus fucking Christ, how indulgent is that? It just shows that you deserve to fail because it's not that you're not allowed to make mistakes, but you're not actively learning from those mistakes. You're not actively learning anything actually. You're just kind of doing what you want by the seat of your pants, and it makes you just look unserious. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, Tony Khan again, he would self-fund this promotion in his own fucking backyard to amuse himself because,
Well, because that's what
like
it
most,
is, right? It's literally
yeah,
just he's booking this promotion for himself. He's funding this promotion for him. Like it's entirely like he's a money mark. That's literally what we've called him from day one, and that's the truth. That's what he is. That's what he'll continue to be. At the end of the day, that's all it comes down to.
Yes. Yes. So, with that, did we have any other questions? No, you know what? I think I'm gonna close questions here though, because we got a nice good volume. I want to just move on to our next segment: high spots and low shots. Um, my high spot. Hmm, this is a hard one for me. You know what? My high spot, I'm gonna say Roxanne, because I think a lot of people expected a title change, and she
Why are we
retained.
going
Obviously,
backwards? Don't we usually do low shots first?
we do actually. Yes. Well, I'll just save that high spot for later. My low shot
I know
then.
what it is now, though, so I won't take it from you. Yeah,
I appreciate it. My low shot then is gonna be Drew McIntyre, because you
that's a very easy call for sure. Yeah, good call.
God, yeah, fuck. So yeah, Drew, who's your low shot?
Rhea. Again, she prioritized beating the shit out of Dom over winning her championship back. And also, like, her former friend returned to cost her her championship. Like, frankly, she might have been able to have her cake and eat it too. She might have been able to beat the shit out of Dom and win her match too, if not for the return of Raquel. Like that,
Yeah,
and Raquel was her best friend at one point. Like they are close, and Raquel returned to screw her out of the title.
yeah. I mean, fuck.
Bad week
Um,
for Rhea. And again, speaking of Liv, this comes back to what Liv said all those months ago. I'm gonna take everything from Rhea Ripley, including you, Dom. And it turns out she went even further than that. She took her best friend from her too.
yeah. It's like, hey, Rhea, fuck you.
Yeah,
Uh,
unironically, she.
honorary. Well, actually, no. Yeah. Okay. So you gave your low spot there, Rhea. Honorary high spot, since I already gave my actual high spot. Kevin Owens. Welcome home, bud. And yeah, nice
Missed
job whooping that
you.
ass. Yeah, I'll always love you, Kevin, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm very curious to hear your reasoning this Friday, by which I mean I'm looking forward to agreeing with your reasoning on Friday, whatever it is. You could even just be like, I felt like it, and I'd be like, you know what? I understand. I understand. So, honorary high spot, Kevin Owens. And yeah, like I said, actual high spot, fucking Roxanne. She retained against Julia. Who is your high spot? If you have an honorary high spot, just go. Who gets it for you this week?
High spot. Let's see. You know what? Honorary high spot, Jimmy Uso, because even though he didn't outpop The Rock, he's the fucking Rock, and he did have the next biggest pop of the night, probably. Actual high spot though is going to go to Trick. Wait, who was your high spot?
Roxanne.
The good Trick Williams for me. I wanted to make 100% sure. Yeah, high spot Trick Williams. Didn't need CM Punk's help to win. Won his title back. It's back where home where it belongs. And frankly, I really just hope that he does not drop that thing to anyone, especially Ethan Page, but more specifically, anyone not named Obafemi.
Yes, yes. And you can learn more about those takes in depth if we can figure out what Ashton's burner account is and follow that so that we can get all
I
those
don't have a
sweet, sweet
burner
open
account.
takes.
You'll learn eventually.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe I won't though. I am stubborn.
Oh, you
Anyway,
will.
gotta unpack that later. I didn't really like that. Okay. So with that said, be sure to Be sure to leave a like as you file out, subscribe to the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the AWC. And let's have a quick conversation, guys, because this coming week is going to be interesting. So, Ash and I did want to kind of hash this out with you when we went off the air, but I guess we can kind of do it live since this does involve like the audience and everything. Are we set to do Survivor Series 2005 for Dom as a 12-hour request live on Tuesday? We just go live at 5 with that. What did you want to do with that? Um, there was a lot of
Um,
activity on our Patreon channel, so like I just want to kind of
yeah,
hammer that
we
out.
could probably do that. Did he specifically request it for that time and that day?
Oh, he didn't request a time. They kind of left the time up to us, I guess, because I didn't see a time. It just saw Tuesday.
Did he say
Um,
Tuesday? Oh yeah, he did say Tuesday.
yeah.
Yeah. And it is Survivor Series '05. Yeah, if we wanted to do 5 o'clock, we could probably get away with that. Yeah, I mean, assuming that that show is in fact definitely under 3 hours, then we could definitely go live by like 10 after 5. Yeah, definitely.
I could check that real quick on Peacock while we're talking about this. So yeah, Tuesday we're gonna be doing a TWitWoW request live, presumably at 5. Which would just be, oh fuck, I clicked on the wrong profile. It doesn't matter. I'll just click out of it after. Um so yeah, that'll be Survivor Series 2005. And then Curtis for the Tuesday after that wants us to do a Rev Pro show. So I've got to resubscribe to Rev
Rev
Pro.
Pro? What the fuck?
Dude, I know. But yeah, and he wants us to do it at 4 p.m. I don't know. That was the time he requested, so guess we'll be doing that. And yeah, so let's just check Survivor Series '05 if I can pick the right. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right,
Fuck,
2005.
bro. Jesus Christ, Curtis. What are you doing?
It's 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Didn't we at some point make a rule about no Rev Pro?
Maybe we didn't. Is it like a pinned message? No, our only pin messages want us to react to something, remember a date and time. And yes, that's the only pin message. Curtis gave us a date and a time. So I'm just going to presumably, assume that that can happen. The big thing, though, guys, that you should know is that this next Saturday there is not going to be an interview. I am going to be out of town for the weekend. I'll be back Sunday night. So if there's anything we would want to do the following Monday, that's also open. I'm just assuming right now that that's not going to
Yeah,
be a
yeah, we
thing.
did. We fucking did.
Oh, we did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Then yeah, somebody will have to let Curtis know. But yeah, we're good for Dom then this Tuesday at 5. So yeah, that'll be a thing because it's only a 2 hour and 36-minute show, so that should be fine. So that's 12 requests live this coming Tuesday. And then Stardom recap Thursday at 7 as per usual. Maybe some Marty Gold this week. I don't know. That's really up to Marty Gold. But again, Friday, Saturday, and late Sunday, I'm going to be out of town. So I won't be like meeting up with you guys, or there won't be an in review. So that's just, whatever. I really don't think it really matters that much. It's 1 week. We'll just be back in the saddle the week after. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. But that's pretty much it for now. I guess we'll touch base with you guys later. This is why you should join the Discord. It's $3 a month. It keeps you up to date with all TwitWoW news and happenings with recordings and whatnot. So again, subscribe to that so you can keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening. And if you don't have the means, I totally get it. But that's also why it's important to click the bell icon and just turn on notifications whenever we go live with a video, because we may go live with something that you weren't expecting. And you want to keep your finger on the pulse, especially if it's something that you'd be interested in. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in and peace out.